Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Y'all thought it was gone, right? Y'all thought it was over. Let me tell y'all something though. When they say the voice of the people, he mean that shit. It's the return of the underdog. The voice of the people.
So they asked me, young boy, how you gonna come back? I told him, I come back like 32. I jump back like 33. Ugh. Hit me. That's nothing.
Now for the main event, the main focus.
As always, I should be joined alongside my boy Jameson Rocket. James, what's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, man, just trying to figure out this new YouTube thing, man. They're forcing you to do all these extra things. So Beeb's on the back end trying to handle that so that we can move forward here, man. But why don't you tell everybody about our first guest after I get into these sponsors real quick. I also want to, well, definitely, actually, James, you should talk about the contest now that the contest also includes a Boxing Voice shirt, and then I'll pick up after you.
Cool. Okay. So, like I said on last week's show, we're teaming up with Ryan Moore, who's the director and producer of the new upcoming documentary on Manny Pacquiao. We got an autograph poster from him. We'll give that away as well as a Boxing Voice T-shirt. Once the drawing concludes, I'll hit you up to see what size we get because I don't want to just do one of those fan giveaways that just give you like a large when you're an actual extra large or medium. But in order to be eligible, you have to log into your Facebook and like both the Boxing Voice fan page and the Manny Pacquiao documentary fan page. We have the links up on our website, so if you guys have any confusion, head on over to boxingvoice.com. You'll see a picture on the right side of the actual website where you can click, and it'll bring you right to all the rules and contests. But a few times a week, we'll be posting some sort of content regarding the Manny Pacquiao documentary, and it'll clearly state that you must share this for an eligible entry. Each time we do that on Facebook and Twitter, you'll be entered as basically give you one entry towards the random drawing. If you do it on Facebook and on Twitter, you can get two entries. So it's you can only do it twice per day. So you get a maximum 2 entries per day every time we do it. It begins tonight. We'll do the first one probably either later tonight or tomorrow morning, and it ends on March 7th, the day before the Manny Pacquiao premiere at South by Southwest. And then we'll be announcing the winner live on the show Sunday, March 9th. Are you there, Ness? Hello?
All right. I think we're back now, man. Let me take some calls here. Well, you know the number, 646-478-3068. We're waiting on our first guest, and hopefully we can get him on time here. He's scheduled to be on the show at 7:15. It's Ryan Moore. He's the director of the new up-and-coming Manny Pacquiao movie. So we definitely want to talk with him. We're also doing that great giveaway that James is going to, let us know about once he gets back in. But we got a lot to discuss, man. We had ESPN Friday Night Fights this week. It was pretty good. I mean, Roberto Garcia was kind of, I don't know where he goes, even with this win. But really quick, man, we got to get into our sponsors. Can't forget about OwnIt.com. Definitely want you guys to check out the Hemp Force Protein, non-psychoactive cannabis sativa, so MV2 won't be getting high, but it's all organically grown and, of course, organic products, man. So definitely check out the Hemp Force Protein at OwnIt.com/The Boxing Voice. My good friend Matt already ordered the Choca Mocha or whatever it's called. But yeah, man, you guys definitely should check it out, because if Matt is using it, it's definitely good. He lives by the T+. Once I get done with this house, I'm actually living here now, so congratulations to me. But once I get done with this house, I'll probably start trying to T+ myself and get back into shape. I already lost like 23 pounds. So I already, I'm ready. Every time I go to these fights, I'm ready. Just saying. And because of that attitude, if I ever get in a jam in AC, because I had to go up top of some Manny Pacquiao fan, I had to call 973-497-7000 for fast break bail bonds. They'll come get me out ASAP. We didn't do the chat. Let me get to that. We're having a rough start. James, are you there, brother? We got 1 minute before your guy calls in.
Yeah, no, I just texted him right now. He's still pushing it back to 5:25. Can you hear me?
James, you
there? Can you hear me?
And I don't know if it's James or is it me, but you sound like shit right now, James.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you, man. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Well, the producer says he hears us both, so I'm going to just keep it rolling, man. Any callers that want to call in, 646-478-3068. Press the number 1 if you want to talk to me, the host, Nest GTO. We should be having Joe Habib on here any minute now. And whenever James gets his thing situated, maybe we can move on. But I guess we'll get into the weekend wrap-up with Friday night fights, man. We seen Roberto Garcia coming back versus Norberto Gonzalez in a 10-rounder. The fight went for a split decision. I mean, what could you say? He took the fight on 11 days' notice. Last time we seen him in anything relevant was versus Antonio Margarito, who was coming off of, I believe, like a year layoff himself or a 6-month layoff for the hand wraps. So, I mean, he did good that fight, but not good enough. And last night, whether or not he took this fight in 11 rounds, I mean, he just didn't look good to possibly ever win a world title. Like, he's always going to be that C- level guy. But, I mean, he made for an exciting fight for what it lasted. It was kind of, well, it did last forever, actually. But, it was just real methodical. He wasn't doing anything. What happened is, in my opinion, Gonzalez got tired, and he was because when he was moving well, and he was landing multiple combinations and definitely keeping Garcia at bay. And Garcia was just like eating punches and smiling, like he was just a brute. Like, what if he didn't land anything? Like, what if every time he tried he didn't? He had no plan B, and I didn't like that at all, man. That was weird to see a person just not have any gears, man. It's crazy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. What's up, James? Man, were you hearing me all that time?
Yeah, I was hearing you the whole time. Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I was just recapping ESPN because I couldn't get you on, and I didn't know your guess's his area code, so I don't know. What area code should I be looking for here?
It's all good. He's gonna call in like an hour since we had to push it back. So that's cool. What time is Miguel getting on?
Oh, Miguel's coming on at 8, so we need to have him call in before then. But switchboard's lighting up. All you guys in the chat, somebody's calling in on Skype clearly or long distance with the 111 number. If you want to talk to the host, you must press 1, and if you're using Skype, I think you can use your dial pad, 646-478-3068. James, so I was just recapping ESPN, and, Robert Garcia, while he got the win, he didn't impress me at all.
No, I agree, man. He let that dude just outbox him, and that should have absolutely not happened. Those first 2 rounds, he was completely motionless and dead. He just didn't. It seemed like that guy wasn't even throwing any sort of power either. It seemed like he was just getting bugged by the amount of activity that guy was coming through. So I wasn't impressed at all.
All right. Well, I think I lost James again. So yeah, man, I'll just keep it moving, and
Can you hear me now?
Garcia, man, I didn't understand not having gears to switch or anything. It was just him coming forward, realizing he can't do nothing, and that being okay.
Can you hear me now? Are you there?
All right, fight fans, we're back again. Let's see if we can get it right, man. Rain, sleet, snow, the show must go on. I don't know. We're going to wait for James to call back in, and regardless, we're going to have a 2-3 hour show, man. I want to talk boxing today. We got to do this. We have to do this. Here goes James. All right. James, what's up, brother? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
James.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good, man. I don't know, brother. I restarted this whole entire computer. I quit everything. It has to be Blog Talk because my internet is working 100% fine. I have no clue. It just keeps booting me off. And this is part of the drawback of this fucking system. But let's put this tweet out here. You still there, James?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good, man. So we were talking about Roberto Garcia versus Norberto Gonzalez on ESPN2 in Chicago, Illinois, man. I wasn't impressed with Roberto Garcia. What was your thoughts, man?
No, man, I totally agree. I was saying it earlier. Hopefully, I don't know if anyone heard it, but I'm going to have to repeat myself. But anyway, I felt like in the first 2 rounds he did 0 in that fight. It was like at first I kind of felt like he was going to feel him out, but it just looked like he was being confused on how this dude was outboxing the way that he was. So, I mean, then like after obviously the second round, he kind of started taking control of the fight and started walking in, but he still did a lot of mistakes. Like he was just fighting a lesser opponent, and that's the reason why he won. Like you said, he didn't impress me at all. He was following him around the ring as opposed to cutting off the ring. That guy would have, anyone that knew how to actually cut off the ring would have stopped that dude in his tracks. I mean, he even clocked him a few times, so obviously he had the power to be there, but he just didn't do enough, and I was not impressed with him at all. And to be honest with you, I just don't even know what to think about him. I mean, I can't imagine he'd be in any big fights like, from now on. He didn't do anything for me, and I can't imagine he did anything for anyone else.
Yeah, man, he didn't impress me at all, brother. I mean, I remember the last time seeing him, I believe that I even paid attention was the Margarito fight, and, you know, he was losing in that fight. And then, you know, I don't even know who Gonzalez is. This is not the same Noe Gonzalez that lost to Adonis Stevenson. I never seen this guy fight, and he was definitely keeping Garcia at bay with the jab, working combinations, working to the body, and like he had no answers. He would just come forward and smile like that high school bully, just so stupid until you punch him in the face. It just so happens that Gonzalez didn't have the pop to hurt Garcia, but man, any given Sunday with an average boxer, they would knock this dude out, right?
No, I totally agree. So that's why I agree with you totally that there's no way that dude would be on anything. He wouldn't even make a competitive fight with the lowest level of HBO fighters. You just hit on the head. That dude was outboxing with almost like lightweight Paul Malignaggi punches. Like, and that's not to take away from Paul Malignaggi, but it just means that it's almost that he was fighting an amateur in there, and he made the amateur look actually good. So he's not good at all.
Yeah, man. Let's go to our first caller here on the Boxing Voice Radio. Definitely, if you want to call in, you can use Skype on the Blog Talk / the Boxing Voice Radio show page. click on that Skype button, or you can call in 646-478-3068. We're going to go with MV Chu here, man. MV Chu, what's going on, brother? MV Chu.
I hear his background noise.
MV Chu. All right, we're going to let you go. When you're ready, you come back to us. So I guess I'll keep my eye on the chat. But, yeah, on the undercard of that was Camille Laskivka, I don't know, versus Daniel Diaz. And he defeated Daniel Diaz in an 8-round unanimous decision. Now, this fight, was this the co-main? I don't think this, wasn't it? Wasn't the co-main like a darker skinned Spanish guy?
No, I think the co-main was that white dude. If I can remember it correctly. It was that, yeah, I think it was. The dude was like, yeah, I don't remember the dude's name. The dude that you just said, that's the dude that was on the co-main.
Did he have red shorts on?
I think so. I don't know. I don't remember. I think it was like they were like featherweights or lightweights.
Because I seen the young kid, the 18-year-old, he looked pretty good, even though his fighter quit.
Oh, yeah. That, I think, was one of those filler bouts because the first one might have ended a little bit earlier, I think. I don't know if that was before that or if that was in between the two.
Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's that middleweight cat. That's that dude that fought that dude that basically he quit.
This Friday?
Yeah, no, you're talking about the exact ones. That's the ones, yeah. That dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. That dude was claiming he hurt his hand when he clearly didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't want to know parts of that dude. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, he was a Puerto Rican.
Was he?
Yeah, he was Puerto Rican.
Yeah, yeah, they were talking about how he's been, like, knocked out basically in every loss that he's ever had.
Yes. Switchboard is lighting up, fellas. Oh, that's Vic right there. I don't know why he didn't press 1. I wonder if I should go to him. Vic, what's going on, brother?
What's up, bro? What's going on?
Why you didn't press 1, man? You just listening in to our little mistakes over here?
Oh, I didn't know if you guys had the interview on already. That's why I wanted to jump in.
Oh, nah. We're just chopping it up, man. We're talking about ESPN right now. Vic, what was the name of the undercard fight with the white guy versus the Mexican guy? The Mexican guy was he was more experienced and stuff like that. I think the white kid was like 15-0 with seven knockouts or something.
I have to look that up, dude. I mean, I only caught the main event. Gonzalez won against Garcia. I didn't catch the other one by the time I got home.
All right, I got it going here. It was Camille Lazaric versus Daniel Davis, and then under that was Erickson Lubin versus Roberto Acevedo. That was that bullshit what we were just talking about.
Okay. Vic, what did you think of the main event? Because we had touched on that, so... And we got Beeb live too, man. Beeb, what's going on, Prince? Couldn't figure it out?
Brother? Well, you're already logged into it, so you'd have to log out for me. I already figured it out, man. I took care of the whole situation.
You want me to log out?
We'll fix it next. You were logged into it. It said I was already in a hangout because I logged in with yours. But let's not worry about that. We'll fix it for next week. We'll just take care of it next week.
All right, fellas. Well, there will be no YouTube. We definitely were set up, man. Like I said, I'm living here. Beeb was ready. I was ready. But YouTube, Google's always making fucking updates and improvements, and we couldn't do that. But we're all here.
YouTube's coming back, though. I'm not giving up on the YouTube. It's coming back.
It's definitely coming back, man. We got to show the Lebanese prince's gorgeous face around. Robert Garcia, Norberto Gonzalez, Beeb, Vic, your thoughts. Me and James already touched on that, and then we can move on.
Well, I mean, it's Garcia, I thought was going to get robbed. Thankfully, he didn't. But, I mean, as a late replacement, I mean, what else can you expect, man? He won the fight, and, he saved us, from watching everyone's favorite Puerto Rican, Jonathan Gonzalez, on the card.
Oh, so Jonathan Gonzalez was supposed to... I was more interested in that than this guy. This guy showed me nothing, absolutely nothing. I don't ever want to see him fight again because if he steps up just a fucking minuscule, just a little half step, he's going to get fucking hurt. He's going to get hurt, this guy.
I mean, you got to give him credit. He took the fight on, 2 weeks, 1 week notice? I mean...
Dude, listen, this guy dies versus Triple G. This guy's a punching bag even with Peter Quillen. This guy, listen, Gabriel Rosado beats the shit out of this guy at 160. This guy,
Agreed.
This guy is nobody. This guy is, he's the guy that takes fights on 11 days' notice. That's this guy.
Well, he's an ESPN level fighter. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, no one expects this guy to be a world beater, but he was in there with Gonzalez, who I thought Gonzalez was going to win the fight going in. I thought he was going to outbox him. I thought he was going to be the better guy on the outside. But let's give this kid credit. I mean, Garcia just got in his chest. He closed the distance, and he fought his fight, and he did not allow Gonzalez to fight his fight. So I'm going to look at it for what it is. I didn't look at this fight. I didn't look at this fight to see who was going to be the next world champion. I just watched this fight as a fan to be entertained, and I was entertained. And that's the way you got to look at it. Neither one of these guys is going to be world champion. We know that. There's a lot of guys that fight on ESPN. They're not going to be world champions. I mean, we just have to accept the fact that this was what it was. This was a meatloaf dinner. It wasn't a friggin' filet mignon meal. I mean, this is what you got.
But the argument between me and Vic is that he said if it wasn't Garcia, we would have been forced to watch Jonathan Gonzalez, La Bomba or La Grasa or La Mantequilla. I'm more interested. I'm more interested in that guy.
Why are you more interested in the guy that never makes weight?
Then I have to just maybe retract a little bit what I said. If you're saying that you would rather have watched Gonzalez, Jonathan Gonzalez, because it would have been a more interesting fight because of the background from Gonzalez, because of the potential that he has. You want to follow that guy's career and you want to see him excel, and you think that he has the ability.
I don't want to see the guy. The guy's been so. We
wanted the entertainment. He wants the storyline. He wants to see. He wants to see someone grow before his eyes, and that's what he's looking for.
Well, I don't think Gonzalez is going to grow before our eyes. I mean, how many chances?
Well, that remains to be seen, and you could be right, or he could be right. But in terms of just where Gonzalez is in his career and where Garcia is in his career, Ness is probably more interested in following that kid than he is Garcia, because to Ness's point, he's probably saying, hey, this Garcia guy is a journeyman. He's not going to go anywhere. Is that why we watch fights? I mean, we watch fights to be entertained. That's my point. And that's why I'm saying I agree with you. I agree with you on this one, Vic, that we probably got a more entertaining fight than we would have gotten.
No, that's fair. I just don't want to follow Jonathan Gonzalez's career anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I got more than what I expected. I thought it was a very entertaining fight, and I didn't think Garcia was going to win. I thought he was going to lose. So I was more impressed with the situation at hand, taking the fight on 2 weeks' notice, and basically dictating the fight, controlling the fight. And I thought they were going to rob him. I really did, but fortunately they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Ness dropped off again.
Oh, he did? Okay, well.
Yeah, but I guess the way I compare watching last night's fight, though, the reason why I guess I was entertained in the sense that I watch all things boxing, so obviously I'll be drawn to it like a moth to like light, but I mean, it felt like a sparring match to me. Like Garcia, he didn't do anything that he should have done against an actual pure boxer. And I know he only took it up on 2 weeks' notice or whatever, but I mean, in the same sense, it's like he was making very basic mistakes where he was following the boxer and not cutting off the ring like he should have. If Gonzalez had any sort of pop, he didn't knock out Roberto Garcia. So, I mean, he's the one that won the fight, so he's the one that we have to kind of judge, like be our barometer on who's walking forward. But like you said, if you want to, I guess if you take it from the angle that you're only watching it to be entertained, it was an entertaining matchup. I'm not going to say I hated it. But at the same time, it's like if you're going to waste time on the air, I'd like to see someone that's like a prospect, more of Jonathan Gonzalez, where maybe like Vic says, if he had some sort of missteps in the past or he just didn't make weight, I'd rather see him on the air because at least he's an up-and-coming prospect where we could gauge and have some sort of opinion. But instead, we got this filler fight that wasn't even that good to begin with. I love all things boxing, but I just wasn't stoked on that.
I just think he's had too many chances, and he's done nothing with them. So why give this guy more chances? What has he done?
How many fights does he have right now, though? He doesn't have many fights, though, right?
What do you mean? Wasn't he on HBO when he missed weight, when he fought, what's his face? The dude that Sergio fought, the European guy?
Zinzurek? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was overweight in that fight. I mean, I think he came in at, 158 for a 154 fight? I mean, he just has a history of disappointing. I mean, why give him any more chances? I mean, I mean, for me, you want to watch him, that's fine. But I really care until he shows me something that he's dedicated to this. Then why should we as fans and people follow his career?
No, I totally agree. I mean, you don't think that it's just a matter of him just needing to move up? Because I mean, like you see it all the time in boxing gyms. People want to maintain their weight, or they want to bring their strength down, and they want to have a reach advantage, and they want to be bigger. So they're trying to deflate themselves to get into the lower weight classes. So do you think it's a matter of just him being lazy and not being a true professional?
I think he's just lazy. I think he's just lazy.
All right. Well, I don't know too much about his background.
And that's the thing, though. Like, that's the thing, though. If you're fighting at 154 and you're coming in at like 2 weight classes above what you're supposed to weigh, I could see like being over, but being like grossly over, like Chavez Jr. and Gonzalez. That just kind of shows that there's just a lack of discipline there. But, you know, I'm not so sure he's going to be effective at 168 because he's not a huge guy. I mean, he's not an extraordinary hitter either. So, I don't know. I think I'm with Vic on this one. I mean, he's a solid, decent pro, but maybe there's just a little bit too much hype being heaped upon him than he deserves. I mean, that's a fair statement, you know? That's a fair assessment.
I feel like that's every prospect, though. I feel like that's every prospect, anybody that's on our HBO air, Showtime air that has an undefeated record, they push like it's the next big thing. So, I mean, it's not just him. It's kind of everyone. I mean, we were just talking about this a few weeks ago with, what's his name? It's Mike Perez? The heavyweight. Mike Perez, exactly.
Mike Perez, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, sometimes you got to kind of, it's almost you got to, I guess the term would be you got to throw shit at the wall and see what, they're going to keep throwing these undefeated fighters at us until one becomes the popular standout. Unfortunately, Jonathan Gonzalez might fall by the wayside, but who knows? So, when that's the saying, though, I'd much rather have seen him tonight or last night than this, or Friday night, whatever it was. What I thought was interesting, I guess we could kind of segue into is, needless to say, the controversy behind good old Uncle Bob's his comments about Floyd Mayweather. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think number one, it's very unwarranted. That's just something you can't say. I mean, I know he's like 90 years old or whatever he is. Actually 80. Well, he's 80. All right. I don't want to get in more trouble than I am with them, but he's 80 years old. It's just wrong. I mean, I know Schaefer has called Aaron Hitler before, but if it was the tables were turning and Floyd Mayweather called Bob Aaron Hitler, it'd be seen as racist. So yeah, it's definitely uncalled for. But that's Bob Aaron. Bob Aaron speaks, does what he wants, says what he wants, and he holds no punches. I mean, that's what always to me makes him a great interview. I mean, there's interviews on our channel right now from the presser where he just doesn't give a fuck. He says what he feels, and I respect that in a way, but sometimes it's a little overboard with the Hitler connotation there.
Well, it wasn't just a Hitler comment, too. Obviously, that one, I imagine, would, provoke a lot of, uproar from everyone. But also, I mean, he also said that Floyd Mayweather doesn't like fighting southpaws and doesn't fight southpaws, and 2 of his last 4 opponents have been southpaws. So it's almost like he's just trying to talk shit to, the casual fan. That's what I saw. I thought he was trying to take advantage of people not knowing any situation of boxing. And that's what's sad to me when Bob Aaron does dumb shit like that. I feel like he knows better.
My thing is, listen, this Mayweather-Pacquiao thing, it's 5 years old already. I'm sure everyone from Bob Arum to Floyd Mayweather to Manny Pacquiao is tired of answering these questions. And it always comes up. I mean, they're not fighting each other. Why are we talking about Mayweather-Pacquiao when Pacquiao's fighting Bradley? Why is always Mayweather got to come up? Dude, it's Pacquiao-Bradley. And our job as media, dude, we keep bringing it up. Why do we keep bringing it up? Is it for website hits? Is it, just to have the name Mayweather-Pacquiao in your article? Why?
I don't know, man. I think the fight is still viable, man. I think people still care about it. I mean, it just speaks to the popularity of both guys and the public outcry that they want this fight. I mean,
exactly.
Pacquiao's going on shows. He was on Keith Olbermann, and everyone asks him the question. He's on First Take, and these guys are never going to escape it until they fight. I mean, I just think they have to fight. I still want to see the fight. Because
I want to see what happens with Bradley first, though, because I think if Bradley wins the fight, then people are going to talk shit.
But you know what's funny? Pacquiao loses to Bradley, they still may have the fight. Mayweather still may fight Pacquiao. I mean, Amir Khan hasn't looked great, and he's ready to fight Amir Khan. So, I don't think Mayweather really cares about how great somebody looks. But I just think that people still want the fight. I still think people want the fight. I really believe that, and I don't think it's going to go away.
And that's fine, but, it's how many questions were asked about Bradley? Isn't the underlying story here Bradley and the controversy that was, and we're going to right this wrong? But, there's one or two questions, and then automatically it goes to, when's the Mayweather fight happening? And then, of course, Manny is going to say, my lines are open 24/7, blah, 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 and Bob Arum's going to say what he's got to say. I just think, we're shortchanging Bradley here, because I think Bradley, like Bob Arum said, it's a 50-50 fight in my eyes, and Manny Pacquiao could lose this fight. I think he'll lose this fight. Legitimately.
I think he's going to lose this fight. I think this fight could be looked at as a 50-50 fight, but I think we're going to see a similar fight to how Bradley fought Marquez, and I think that's going to really trouble Pacquiao a lot, in my opinion. I just see that as being very problematic.
Bob Arum said Ricky Hatton, the knockout to Ricky Hatton ruined Manny Pacquiao. Basically stated, Pacquiao was a boxer first, moving, using angles, never going for that kill. What do you guys think of what Bob Arum's saying there?
Well,
what did he say?
I think,
what was that?
He basically said Pacquiao knocking out Ricky Hatton was the worst thing that happened to Pacquiao because he thought he was a knockout artist. When Manny Pacquiao was usually a guy that uses speed, his lateral movement.
Yeah.
And he's basically more of a boxer than a puncher.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, Vic. Even when Pacquiao was supposed to be this monster, I never saw him as such. If you look back at the De La Hoya fight and the Cotto fight, those two fights where he got stoppages, those were stoppages because he wore them down, not because of the one-punch knockout power. Now, obviously, he's not a powder-puff puncher, but he's not this hellacious one-punch knockout artist that he was labeled after the Hatton fight. And I think, to be perfectly honest with you, what Bob Arum said about that situation, there's credence to it, because after Pacquiao did that, that's when everyone started saying, he's this monster, he's this beast. And maybe Pacquiao, let's make no mistake about it. He's a great athlete. He's fast, and he's got some sharp power. He's got that element of surprise to his punches because he's so fast. You can't brace yourself for him if you're his opponent. But with that being said, a lot of guys have stood up to him. Even David Diaz said, it's not so much the power, it's the speed. And a lot of guys have said that. Oscar De La Hoya said the same thing. So I think this label of him being this monster of a puncher at 147, I think is very unwarranted because I just never saw it. Not taking anything away from the guy, but I just never saw him being a beast of a puncher. And if you really watch him punch, too, a lot of times, he doesn't have his feet set underneath him. He kind of leans forward, and sometimes his back foot is off the canvas. So he gets away with a lot of mistakes because of his athleticism, because he's so quick and explosive. But I think as he gets older, more and more fighters are going to exploit that. And I think people are going to stop being able to time him. Now, obviously, Rios wasn't the opponent that could do that, but I think Bradley could do that. And I think Bradley will expose a lot of the weaknesses. And Bradley's a guy that he's an adaptive, reactive fighter, and he's going to collect the data. He's already collected the data from the first fight, and he's going to use that against Pacquiao. Pacquiao's more of a pattern fighter. He's more of a fighter that uses the repetitious attack. He's the guy with the fastball that usually strikes everyone out, but then there's that one hitter that can get around on him, that one or two hitters, maybe a Marquez or a Bradley, and they are those two hitters that can get around on Pacquiao's fastball. So that's why this fight is going to be, I believe, problematic to Pacquiao, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that Bradley's defense in the Marquez showed that he's able to split punches a little bit better. He keeps really low. And then the older that Pacquiao gets, the slower he's going to get. And you hit it right on the head, where I feel that it's a culmination of punches. He doesn't hit you with a level 10 punch, but when he hits you with 1,000 level 7s, it's going to really fuck you up. So I agree. That's where it's always been. So, I think he hasn't really knocked out anyone since what? Like Cotto? I think he stopped Cotto.
And even the Cotto fight, James, that Cotto fight probably could have went the distance, but it was stopped with like 10, 20 seconds left. Cotto could have probably finished that fight on his feet. Cotto didn't take any much less of the beating than Margarito did in that fight. So,
no, I totally agree.
Like I said, he didn't really knock those guys out. He basically beat them into submission. It was like a mercy type thing.
And that's exactly what a speed puncher would do. And that's the similar when I hear things like Paul Malignaggi say that Amir Khan is an extremely hard puncher, or not extremely hard, but is a hard puncher. That's the kind of same thing that I give him, is that it's because you're getting hit so many times, and it's like he's good. He goes to the body, he goes to the head, he throws combinations. When you're getting hit in all directions with a lot of sevens, it's really going to really wear you down. And that's where it comes from. It beats like they always say, you kill the body and the head will die, and that's kind of what the mentality is there. Kind of like what did not happen on Friday Night Fights last night with Gonzalez. How he just kind of sat there and feather punched him to the head. Manny Pacquiao will combination punch you to the body and the head and wear you down over time. But with that said, I also believe that with Bradley's footwork and Bradley's head movement, that it's gonna kind of almost neutralize the speed and the combination punching of Manny Pacquiao. And I feel that Timothy Bradley is the younger, faster, almost fighter at this point. And I think he has the confidence of coming off of the win of Marquez, just knocked out Pacquiao, and he won Fight of the Year honor, so he knows he's the toughest fuck motherfucker. So I really think coming into this fight, it's Bradley's fight to lose. It might not be like a normal casual fans aren't going to understand it, because I've been placing bets all week against fucking Bradley. People telling me I'm crazy. These guys don't know about boxing. They all swear Pacquiao's going to win.
James, let me take it to the streets because we only got 10 minutes before we get Miguel Silky Smooth Gonzalez on. Let's go to MB Chu one more time, see if he's ready. MB Chu, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, Nate? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I don't know what you're talking in the chat, man. I went to you. I don't know what's up. But
that didn't call in the first time. I don't know who that was. But it doesn't matter, man.
Talk about MB.
Yeah, man, I just want to ask why there's no boxing in February. Why is it always on the same day, like 10 fights a day? Showtime and HBO on the same day. Why is there no boxing in February? It never used to be like that.
Well, it's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day, man. We're supposed to love. We're not supposed to fight.
The Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, a million reasons, but still, this is meant to be like the busiest time of the year.
You didn't enjoy Friday Night Fights?
I didn't see Friday Night Fights. I usually don't get the chance to see it, man. I'm talking about HBO and Showtime. Man, I don't want to see those bums fight.
Yeah, but there's more than just the big names in boxing, man. I mean, that's kind of like the reason we're getting Silky Smooth on. This is a guy that's been given another chance clearly by ESPN joining this tournament. And he was pretty competitive in his last time out in ESPN, and we get to build another guy because think about the 135-pound division. All we got is Ricky Burns, Vasquez, Omar Figueroa. It's just like a couple of names. We could use some more names in boxing, and we gotta start following these guys when they're on ESPN, man. You can't just jump on a bandwagon when they make it to HBO. You casual fan.
I respect anyone. I respect everybody.
MB2?
Yes, I'm not trying to bust your chops, but I got to ask you this question. I've always meant to ask you this. You're the only Hispanic person I know that pronounces Vasquez. I don't know why. It's just funny when you do that, man. I just wanted to bring that up.
What the hell?
But Nez, I mean, I respect every boxer has got to start from the bottom and work their way up, but the casual fan, I'm not a casual fan, I'm a hardcore boxing fan, and even when I watched every fight, which I can't nowadays because of my work, because I'm always fucking working, I fucking hated ESPN because it's fucking bullshit. It's just boring, man. That's like small time. You know what I mean? And I don't appreciate small time. I want to see Showtime. I want to see HBO. And you guys still didn't answer the question, which was why do they have like 10 fights on in one night, diluting, diverting the audience, and then we have all these fucking weeks of nothing.
Well, I mean, this year's the Olympics. Other years, it's just, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That could be the Olympics. They don't want to draw from the Olympics, or they don't want to get ratings down and not have anyone to watch it because of it.
I mean, I really don't care.
That's a good point, Vic.
Olympics, but I'm not gonna watch the Olympics, but you know.
Casual fans will though. Casual fans of watching boxing watch almost anything. They watch football, basketball, baseball. The shirts watch the Olympics.
Give me some Saturday night boxing. That's all I want.
I hear you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just I just think boxing must be not have much power nowadays with the networks. If that's the case, they can just go off the airwaves for a fucking whole month. I mean, where the fuck's the power?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, MD, I mean, when you talk to a casual fan here, there's really no casual fans. It's kind of like almost in passing fans. I don't know how it is in other parts of the country, but in Arizona, I can tell you, probably 7 out of 10 males above 18 watch UFC, but I maybe talk to 1 in 25 people that watch and follow boxing. So, I mean, that's what we're dealing with here in the United States. So, unfortunately, I think it's the UFC kind of just destroying boxing a little bit. That's why we need to get these good fights so we can start fucking pulling ourselves out of that rut and get February fights. What's it like in England? Is it a very casual thing in England for a lot of people to watch boxing?
Well, first of all, let me correct you. I'm not in England. I'm in Scotland.
Sorry, I'm terrible with accents, man. I'm terrible. Sorry, bro. I'm terrible with that.
Don't worry, buddy. I know what you meant. But it's not that bad. But to be honest, we just had a bad month in January, and now we're getting another fucking bad month in February. I can remember the days not too long ago when it was a fight every fucking week, except in the summer. I thought the summer was the slow month in boxing because of the American sports. But now it's fucking winter and February, and the only good fights are in the spring and the autumn. And I don't fucking get it. Like, what the fuck's going on? You guys.
Well, maybe because Showtime is now doing a lot of pay-per-views with like Canal and stuff like that, and they're a lot of investing money on having good undercards. It's pulling from the amount of actual broadcasts they could put during the month of February. That's just me playing devil's advocate. I really don't know, to be honest with you. Someone might be able to chime in and have more information on that. But if I had to take a guess, the amount of money that they're paying for the undercard, the amount of money that they're paying for the Canal pay-per-views, I know a lot of that comes out of their own pocket. So, I mean, that could be what it is. In order for us to get these stacked cards, maybe we have to suffer not as many fights on a consistent basis.
Well, I know for a fact Bob Adams said he didn't want to put any cards on in February while the Olympics were going on. I mean, as far as past years, like I said, I can't talk about that. And we were supposed to have Maurice Gonzalez too next week.
That's true. What's going on with that? I heard a few conflicting reports. People saying he's injured, and other people saying that he's not sure he wants to take that path.
Oh, he said he's going to move on. He said he's moving on. He said he's not going to fight him. That's what I heard.
That's tough.
I don't know.
That was the one thing I loved about him is that he took that immediate rematch. I was there live, and I was like, I'm telling you, I was a Maurice fan forever. Like for way back before even this Bantamweight 4. But I mean, like, if he's not going to fight him, man, I just lost a lot of respect for that man. Hey, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I was shocked to hear that. I was shocked to hear that he's moving on, and I really don't know why. I don't know why. I thought he would win in the rematch. I was going to pick him to win in the rematch. Maybe these guys know more than we. Maybe these guys know more than we do. There's probably something in the back of their minds that we don't. Obviously, we can't see. We don't know what they're thinking. But maybe he just feels that after he got hit with the left hook, he doesn't want to feel that anymore. You know what I mean? Maybe the power really kind of spooked him a little bit. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but that could be the case.
I heard a pretty interesting rumor a day or two ago that Maurice will probably be on the Mayweather undercard, and it might be Gary Russell.
Well, I actually like that fight, but that's not the path. I want him to go Gonzalez or nothing at all, man. He's going to stop Gary Russell. I think so.
Well, I don't know if he's going to stop him, but I would favor him to win. But he could stop him, definitely. But I agree with you. Why wouldn't you want to go back and get the title back? I mean, that was, especially in the lower weight classes, you kind of need a title to make good money.
And to be honest with you, if we're going to give Broner shit for not fucking sidestep or for not wanting to fight Maidana, if that happens, we got to give fucking Maurice just as much shit for not wanting to fight Gonzalez again.
Well, I'm not going to give Maurice shit for anything, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Maurice is taking on all comers. I can't give Maurice shit. I mean, I think at the end of the day that there's 2 or 3 guys that have took on all comers in every weight class they've been in, and it's going to be Carl Frost and it's going to be, Abner Maurice. And you can throw Danny Garcia in there as well. Aside of that, I mean, it's very hard to find fighters that really take tune-up fights. I mean, yeah, you could say Morrell was one, but, other than that, I mean, I think he's fought the best of the best.
What do you guys think of this?
Who was Moreno fought since then? You know what I mean? Victor Archinian, the only time he's really looked supreme was in the second rematch of Nonito Donaire, and then even then he got stopped. So, I mean, although he's taken on all comers, all the people that he's fought in the past, it's not like they've gone on to do anything special again. Either he ruined them, which I don't think is the case, but, I mean, he stopped Ponce de Leon, and Ponce de Leon beat Gonzalez. So, to me, I know fighter A that beats fighter B doesn't mean A whatever, A means B, C, but I mean, at the same time, it's like I did believe exactly what you're saying is that I always felt that he took on the tough-ass competition. And I was like, holy shit, he does one after another. He doesn't give a fuck. He was trying to get Nonito Donaire. But then the one time he gets stopped, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I want to fight this dude. I'm like, oh, my God, this is classic Abner Mares. This is why I love you. And then he walked away from that. To me, that does take away from why I actually liked him as a fighter, because he was so tough. And his willingness to just kind of fight anyone. Clearly he's not willing to want to fight anyone because he got stopped with Jonathan Gonzalez and wants nothing to do with that. When everyone thought Jonathan Gonzalez was going to be old, and in fact he was going to get stopped or he was going to definitely lose. So to me, it's like he has to go in there and avenge his loss. I'd be okay with the Gary Russell fight, but to be honest with you, I'll kind of give him a shit and say it bums me out in the sense that he wouldn't take that fight because it wasn't classic Abner Mares. This is just, I guess, politician Abner Mares, and that's not what I want. I want tough Mexican Abner Mares, and that's what I saw, and that's what I don't think I'm getting. That's my point.
I don't know. I gotta disagree with you there. I think I'm not gonna question Abner Mares. I can't. I mean, he's just proven too much to me. The Moreno fight, I know you're saying he hasn't, done much since, but I mean, he was top 10 pound for pound on the ring in most other places when Mares fought him. So. To me, that's his best win, and I got to give him credit for that.
Let's just give him a chance here, and let's see what happens. Let's see who his next opponent is. If he's in there with another tough opponent, then we could say, hey, you know what? He's still the Abner Mares we know and love because he's the guy that never takes easy fights. And if, as I said, he's on that Mayweather undercard, Gary Russell's not an easy fight. Gary Russell's a good fighter, so that's not a bad fight for him. But, eventually I think he'll probably go back and take on Gonzalez and probably right that wrong on his record. You know what I mean? So I think he'll try to clear up that blemish at some point. But what do you guys think about this headline here? Erislandy Lara says he's ready to fight Triple G. He's taken to the social media. Yeah, he's taken to the social media and says he wants Gennady Golovkin at 160. And he says, you could be the good boy and I'll be the bad boy. That's kind of
well. Here's my thing with that. I respect Lara. I respect his skill. It just seems like he's calling everyone out. And is that more because he can't get a fight with anyone? And what's Golden Boy doing with Lara? We give Bob Arum so much shit about Guillermo Rigondeaux that Erislandy Lara. How do both Charlos have fights lined up before Lara? That's what I'm concerned about.
The funny thing about it, the funny thing about it is Ronnie Shields trains all three of those guys, and he'd be probably the first to tell you that Lara's the best out of all of them, but he's the one without the title shot. So how ironic is that? It makes no sense. Like you said, Vic, it's crazy.
Do you think that Lara's gonna be able to jump the line and get an HBO fight? Do you think he's gonna be the first to break it? Because it's gonna be tough. That's the only thing I see right now.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm sorry to cut you off, Vic. I'm going to tell you this right now, that if Canelo beats Angulo convincingly and he doesn't fight Lara next, it's not going to look good for Canelo. It really isn't, because outside of Lara, there's really not a ton of guys that Canelo could face at 154, I believe, that would, I don't know, be that fight you'd be like, wow, this is going to be a tough fight for Canelo. I mean, obviously, I still think Cotto could beat a Canelo, but that's questionable. A lot of people disagree with me there.
But do you think the Charlo twins could be that person? Because I think they could. I think the Charlo twins could be just as viable. Because,
the Charlos could be that person. The Charlos could be, the right opponents possibly. They could do it, but I don't know. They're still a little green. And that's kind of funny saying that they're green when people still think Canelo's green after 40-something fights. But, I just feel as if
if he goes up to fight Golovkin, it's going to obviously be at like 160. So to me, it's him getting out of that division and letting Charlo take care of the junior middleweight division. They'll stay down and reign the junior middleweight division, and Lara jumps up. And I like that fight because, I mean, Lara's been basically at junior middleweight his entire career, so it's not like he's a welterweight going up to middleweight. He's a junior middleweight going up to exactly where he needs to be later in his career. So I don't feel like he's going to be a small fighter for Golovkin. I think he's going to be exactly where he needs to be. I really like that fight. I think let me
pose two questions to you. First question to both you guys is: Golovkin beats Lara, let's say decision. Will you be impressed with that? Does he get credit for that, being that it's another 154-pounder moving up to 160? And you've done that with Ishida, you've done that with with Brazado. I think Umo is a 154-pound title, so that's 4. Number one. Number two, if you're Golden Boy and Showtime, and even if you're Arizona Lara, if you're going to make the jump, why not fight Peter Quillin, who doesn't seem to have an opponent either?
Do you think it's just Arizona Lara wanting to be that tough shit-talking Cuban? Because, I mean, like, there's an awesome documentary called The Fighters for Castro, I believe, and it just, almost all those fighters there, you see they're bred from day one to be almost, and I don't want to say shit-talking, but very prideful and want to fight the best. And I think he views Golovkin as the best, and if he's going to get the credit that he deserves and he's not going to get blackballed like Rigondeaux is, he needs to take on the best. And if he could take out Golovkin, if he really believes he can, and he can actually get that fight, and he does take out Golovkin, there's no fucking way he doesn't become huge, because he just took out the cash cow they should go. That's how I view it. I think it's him being prideful.
But if you're Lara, if you're Quillin, I mean, it just makes more sense, in my opinion. If you're going to move up, you have a guy there at 160 with a belt. Obviously, I don't know if Quillin wants it. I don't know if Golden Boy wants it. But you're campaigning for Golovkin, a guy that fights on a different network. I'm just saying. And Peter Quillin still doesn't have a fight, by the way.
Well, that's true. Maybe it's just him just trying to get his name in the media. I don't know.
Is he going to fight Danny Jacobs? Is he going to fight Danny Jacobs at some point?
Danny Jacobs is fighting Puerto Rico against somebody.
He's fighting against a TBA in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, he's fighting a TBA in Puerto Rico. So that means he's already out for March. So what does Quillin do? Quillin waits till April, May to fight who?
Well,
I mean, after that fight against Rosado, there's a lot of question marks about Quillin, and I don't know, maybe he's second-guessing himself, maybe the management team's second-guessing themselves, or maybe even Golden Boy second-guessing themselves, so maybe they're going to try and rebuild him. I mean, I don't know. It sounds kind of funny that you have to rebuild the champion, but I think he took a lot of heat. I think his stock dropped after that Quillin fight, and a lot of people right now are licking at the chops to take that WBO title from him. They feel they can take that WBO title from him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lara beats a kid like Quillin. Believe it or not, as crazy as that may seem, I'm kind of high on Lara. I like the way Lara fights. I think he's a very skilled fighter. I mean, obviously he's shown vulnerability. He's been knocked down a few times. He's been hurt in fights. But I just like the way he just responds to the situations when he's put in those really controversial situations. That when he's facing adversity, he comes back from them. I mean, he's shown the ability to be versatile in the ring. He can be that power puncher. He could be that slick guy. He could box you. He could hurt you. If he feels that he could walk you down, he's going to walk you down. He's not going to be like a Rigondeaux. I'm not trying to dump on Rigondeaux, but a Rigondeaux will just sit back the whole night against you. But a Lara, he can be action-packed. Like if are you back, sir?
Yeah, man. I'm going through some issues over here. I don't know, but we got a lot of callers. Then we also got Silky Smooth coming up. His number hasn't popped up yet, but I just want to touch on what you guys talking. I wanted to ask. Vic, because I know that he's a Golovkin guy, so I kind of jumped into this conversation in the middle. So, Vic, would you accept Lara Triple G?
I absolutely would. I mean, this is you guys want Sergio Mora movement, slickster. Well, I mean, I don't know if we call Lara slickster. He got hit a lot in the Angulo fight, but I mean, you want movement, you want boxing ability. Here it is. And I think right now, Arizona Lara's name is a little bit more known than Sergio Mora, even though, he's Cuban and he doesn't speak English. We haven't seen Sergio Mora in a credible fight. I mean, since when? I mean,
long time.
But since Prosper, where's he been? He hasn't been fighting. What's Lou DiBella doing with him? So yeah, bring it on. But will Lara get the credit? I mean, will Golovkin get the credit if he breaks him down and beats him, being that he's a 154 pounder? Is what I want to know.
I think he'll get credit for the victory. I still think it's a good fight, and I think it's an interesting fight. And I would be intrigued by the fight. I would enjoy it. I would like it, definitely.
It's actually the fight I probably would want to make the most for Lara right now. If I could pick one person, it would be Golovkin. I love Lara. I think he's a great fighter. I believe in him fully. And I think that what happened with the Angulo fight is a testament to how good Angulo looked in that fight, to be honest with you. I thought that was the best I've ever seen Angulo look, and he just ran into a great fighter in Lara. So, I mean, like I said, I've said it before, if I'm going to be wrong, I'll come in here and apologize. But to be honest with you, I think that'd be Golovkin's biggest test. And I don't know. I don't know who would win that fight yet. I'd have to really think about it to actually really break it down and figure out what's going to happen with that. But it's 50-50 right now in my eyes. And I think that he would get the credit that he deserves, especially in the people that deserve it are the people that I know the most, who the hardcore fans like us. So, I mean, I think he really would get credit for beating Lara if he did it convincingly, and even if he stopped Lara. So.
But what if it's like a shaky, 7-5, 6-6 type of fight? Let's say he wins on your scorecard 7-5.
It'd be tough then. I want to see a second one, to be honest with you, because I think it's two top-level fighters. Because I really like Golovkin and I really like Lara, and that's what I really like about this fight, is if Golovkin really takes this fight and Lara really wants to take this fight, and he's not just talking shit because he knows that the network will deal with each other, I really like this fight. So if it's that close of a fight, I think it's going to be a great, spectacular fight, because it might not be the fight of the year candidate, but it's going to be similar to Lara and Angulo, what's going to be really exciting, because you're going to see someone that's really, really technical on one hand that can walk you down, and he's going to be more of the boxer-puncher, and then you're going to see pure boxing from Lara. So you're going to see two high-level, almost stark contrast fighters of each other competing at the highest level. So, I mean, if it turns out to be Trinidad versus Yale, that's unfortunate, but I don't think that's the case, because after seeing Angulo, Lara, to me, is not a boring fighter if you put in someone that's willing to try to go after him. And Golovkin, I believe, will try to go after him because, like you said, he's 154 moving up to 160, so he's not going to believe in the power until he gets really hit with something good. And Golovkin has a chin. So if he can walk down Lara, you're going to see Lara really just fucking pure boxing, running on the back end while Golovkin walks him down. And to me, that would be an exciting fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how exciting it's going to be because of the fact that we've seen the type of punishment that Lara couldn't take versus Golovkin. Versus Alfredo Angulo. So, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off another punch like that where it just flips things around.
Well, I think it's like every time he got knocked down. Yeah, well, when he got is because he's pressured, but not in the sense that he's going to be smothering his own punches, almost like Angulo. Angulo just got in and he wasn't able to get anything to the head. So he just dug to Lara's body. And when Lara was circling out, he got caught with hooks on the way out. And each time that happened, he was able to correct himself and actually follow through with it. So that's where I think he's going to be able – his adjustments in the ring are just as deadly as his boxing skill, and that's where I think it's going to bother Golovkin. So if Lara gets knocked out, that's unfortunate for me as a Lara fan, but –
I'm just saying, for me, I mean, Golovkin has showed that he's probably one of the best guys when it comes to cutting the ring off, and Angulo did a decent job of cutting the ring off on Lara. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just don't, it's sad to me. It's just a sad fucking situation that a guy like Lara, because he can't get a fight like Canelo because his fucking promoter are trying to keep him away from Canelo when actually Canelo probably can win that fight. I would pick Lara, but he can probably win because Alfredo Angulo showed us things in Lara that we didn't think. We seen toughness with the Williams fight, but we also had doubts because of the Molina fight. So now, with the Alfredo Angulo fight, yeah, he was able to stop him, but because of the eye, it wasn't like he knocked him out. What would have happened had that eye not been that way? Could Lara really win? He was already down on the canvas twice. But because he's so good, they don't want to put him in versus his cash cow in his division, so he's got to fucking fight Golovkin? some bullshit, and Golovkin shouldn't be fighting him any fucking way. He's big as hell. There's plenty of guys at 160. If they're going to fucking let Lara go back to HBO, because I did tell you guys along with Vic last week that it was going to be 3 Golden Boy fighters fighting on HBO again. But if they're going to fucking let Lara go, let Peter Quillen go. He's got more of a name than Lara, and at least it's an even fucking fight in the sense that they're the same weight class, man. I'm so fucking tired of Golovkin and his shenanigans. It's ridiculous. I want to go to another caller here. We got another caller from the 718. 718, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Antonio from Albany. Can you hear me?
Hi, Antonio. What's going on?
Hey, before I give my take on this Lara and Golovkin fight, man, you guys are hearing this rumor out with Amir Khan, man. He's been sparring David Haye and Deontay Wilder, and he's taking all their punches.
Right.
Never mind. They're a bunch of featherweights that look like David Haye. What's up?
I heard he was sparring Klitschko with no headgear on.
It was a bunch of featherweights that looked like David Haye and Deontay Wilder. Man, but I feel like Amir Khan, ever since that Danny Garcia fight, man, he's just been like out of his mind,
on
man.
With all these comments.
Yeah, man, but that was just a quick little laugh, whatever. But anyways, I want to give my take on this Golovkin Lara fight, man. And to be honest with you, I would not give Golovkin any credit for this fight. Just because the way we saw Angulo, cutting the ring off against Lara, dropping him a few times. I just feel like you said, Ness, Golovkin, man, he's the best when it comes to cutting the ring. And, and why would you move up to 160 and face the biggest puncher there? Golovkin has a monster jab, man. Once he hits somebody with a jab, they just stop in their tracks, man. And right from the bat, Golovkin's going to cut off the ring and just, jump on these guys, man. And I just feel like Lara, man, I feel bad for the guy. He's not getting the fights that he wants, man. But, you got to do what you got to do. If you got to move up to fight the best, then you have to, man. If anything, Golovkin should be the one moving up. We got Lara moving up, trying to get, fights, man. And Golovkin should be the one moving up and wait, man, to go to 168. You know what I mean?
I don't think he should move up. I think Golovkin's in a good position. He's got a good promoter. He's got a network backing him, while Lara his network obviously in the back of him. If Charlo is going to get a fucking title shot before he is, against the guy, he drew against. And this guy is literally calling every fighter out on Twitter. I mean, maybe it's not him, maybe it's his manager. But this guy called everyone out, from Angulo to Canelo to Golovkin to Ishe Smith to Molina.
Yeah.
I mean, poor guy. He's not being promoted.
This reminds me a lot about Paul Williams when he was at 147. He wasn't getting no fights, man, and he just moved up. Lara, I guess he's doing the same thing, and I just feel like Golovkin should be doing the same thing as well. But it's whatever, man. If that fight happens, I just feel like Golovkin's going to stop him, and I just won't give no credit to him, man,
Yeah, man. Antonio, man, thanks for calling in. I'm going to go ahead and get some other callers.
Hey, before I let you go real quick, man, I just want to say, Ness, man, I feel bad for you, man, but Danny is going to get stopped in Puerto Rico in April, man. I feel bad for you, bro.
What? I can't. What?
No, I'm just fucking with you. No, before I go, I just want to say, what?
Oh, I was about to say, because you know what I was going to say.
No, I'm a big Danny fan. I'm so glad that Puerto Rico is embracing this dude, man. Even though he's not from Puerto Rico, he fights like a Puerto Rican. He has the heart of a Puerto Rican. He has the chin of a Puerto Rican, and I'm glad that, we got this Puerto Rican coming down to Puerto Rico and just, fight for us, Because ain't nobody
absolutely
out right now, man, other than Danny Garcia, man. But that's all I want to say, man. I'll keep listening, and, that's about it, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. All right, man. Let's move on to 530. You're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Good evening, Ness. It's Ringside Robert.
Ringside Robert, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, not much. First of all, I don't know if that fight will ever occur. Now, you did talk about in the last show that 3 Golden Boy promoters, fighters are supposed to go over to HBO, but and I hope that fight occurs. I think that would be a very interesting fight, but with this Cold War going on, I don't know if that's going to take place. with the Lara Golovkin?
I hope that it doesn't take place, to be honest with you, because I just don't want to see Lara get beat up like that. He could be a damaged fighter after this fight simply because he feels like his back's against the wall.
Do you ever see a day where this Cold War is ever going to come to an end, or do we have to wait for Bob Arum to no longer be around before we can see the fights we're supposed to see?
Well, I think because these three fighters are going to get a shot on, HBO and whatnot. I mean, this is a step in that direction. It's going to be basically forcing promoters that don't usually deal with each other to deal with each other for the sake of the network. So hopefully, this is a step closer to that.
I mean, there are a lot of fights out there. I've been listening to your show for over the last year, and there's a lot of fights out there that could be made if these promotion companies would ever sit down and cooperate with one another.
Oh, absolutely. There's a ton of things that could definitely take place.
And is the rumor true that Mayweather's going to fight Khan? Has that been settled?
Vic, is that secure yet?
I don't know, but I think the announcement of the poll ends at 9 o'clock or something like that today.
Because I don't know about the rest of you, but I really don't want to see that fight.
Yeah.
I don't either.
I mean, I to be honest with you, I'm not going to pay for that. I mean, because Floyd would win that in a walkover.
Hey, what would you guys vote if one of the options was none of the above?
I'd probably vote none of the above.
Yeah, well,
too,
I know
man.
you guys don't like talking
like that
about
movie,
this,
Brewster's Millions. Remember that? None of the above. Vote none of the above.
I know you guys. I definitely want to see Pacquiao and Mayweather eventually get in the ring.
See, everyone wants it still.
Exactly.
Everyone still. I want to see it too. Because you know what? You know why I want to see it? Because I want to know what it is about Pacquiao that troubles Mayweather so much. I mean, I was always the guy that said, oh, you know what? Mayweather will kill him. Mayweather will kill him. But now I'm saying to myself, like, there's got to be something in the back of this guy's head. And if there is some type of, reservation or some type of anxiety in Mayweather's mind about Pacquiao, man, will it show up in the ring if they meet one day, Will that show up? That's what I'm curious of.
Well, hey, Beeb, did you touch on the Floyd Sr. Broner?
I have not. I did not go to that yet. Now, I was dying to go to that, too, because that's very, very interesting. But go ahead, jump in, man. Give your thoughts.
Yeah, allegedly Floyd Sr. Has more to say about Broner as a guest on the Ropes Boxing Radio. I believe On the Ropes is with Jenna Jameson, right? Steve?
Jenna J. That's her name, Jenna J.
Jenna Jameson is a porn star.
Jenna Jameson is a porn star. Let's not.
That's what your mind.
I am not against porn, man, but this is a family show here, brother. Come on now.
Christ,
well, I thought that was her name, Jenna on the Ropes. I thought it was Jenna on the Ropes.
Jenna J is her name. Her name is Jenna J. Her last name is begins with an O.
I'm putting out a disclaimer in case anyone gets this show to her. That was not a cheap joke. I would have played the Rimshot soundbite, but that wasn't a joke. Anyway, so Floyd had more to say about Broner. I'm quoting now. He's talking about wanting Maidana right now, but he doesn't want Maidana right now. He doesn't want Maidana at all, to tell you the truth. Shit. When Maidana will be all over. I'm here to tell you, he's got this. Let me stop. Nah, he said, I'm here to tell you he's got to do something magnificent to overshadow what happened to him in the last time. He's got to do something incredible, and I don't see that in him. Mayweather Sr. told On the Ropes Boxing Radio. That's harsh, man. This is the second time Mayweather has.
Good old Jenna J always gets the good sound bites out of him. I noticed.
Hey, man,
the problem here is that this is the second time he's attempted to basically, publicly destroy Broner in interviews, man. I mean, and then at the same time,
do you want to hear something funny though? Do you want to hear something funny though?
But how could you do that and then in the same breath say you want to trade him? I just don't get it.
No. This is. Do you want to hear something funny? It's hilarious that you say that because I was watching like YouTube. I think it was this morning, and I was seeing like clips of Broner at the Mayweather gym, and like Floyd Mayweather Sr. sitting there putting his arm around him, patting him on the back, laughing it up with him, and this and that. And now he's talking all this trash about him, man. Like it's crazy, man. Because maybe he's trying to, like in the Marines or in the Army, when you go to the boot camp, the drill sergeants break you down just so they can build you right back up again to kind of build your character. Is that what he's doing to Broner, or is he trying to, like, tear him down so then like, Broner will come to him and say, well, you know, if I'm so broken, why don't you help me out? Why don't you fix me? And not only that, he's trying to kind of push Broner out of the way so maybe he wants Floyd to fight Maidana. Maybe he thinks that's a better fight for him than Amir Khan. I mean, Floyd Sr. is a smart guy. He knows how to match fighters up well. He's a good matchmaker. He's not just a good trainer. So maybe that's part of it, too. But it's funny that you say that because, like I said, hugging them, laughing it up. They're dancing, you know, and Broner's in the ring sparring, beating the crap out of somebody, and then Floyd comes in the ring and says, yeah, that's it, man, that's how you do it. And like, oh, now he just flipped the script on him, like right out of the blue. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, I don't get it at all. James, Vic, what's your thoughts on this Broner Mayweather Sr. situation, man?
I mean, I think, I just think he wants to train him. I mean, I know he said some words about Mike Stafford in the past. I just think that's what it is, to be honest with you.
Sure, that's a good point.
Now,
I can't argue that.
Do you think that, basically slandering this guy's name or you know, basically saying he's a bum at this point?
Defamation of character.
How you get,
defamation of character right now.
But is that how you get a new client? I mean, I don't know. Does that work?
You break the guy down, you make him feel vulnerable and weak, and then you come along and say, hey, man, I'm the savior. I can fix you.
Especially when you're his big brother's dad.
That's the old trick, man. That's the old trick. When you got a girl, like when a pimp has a girl, man, he breaks her down, makes her feel vulnerable and weak. Come to daddy. Daddy's going to take care of you. That's the old friggin' way to do things, man. Maybe that may not be the best analogy, but you know, it's somewhere along the lines of that, you know.
I agree.
Yeah, man,
maybe
James,
what's up?
James, nothing yet, man. Nothing yet from 818. But let me get to some more of these callers over here. We got this is our boy Wood. Wood, what's going on, brother? You're live on the Boxing Voice. Talk to us.
Yo, what's up, man? Y'all talking some X-rated shit, man, today, man.
Nah, man, that was a mistake, man. That was a mistake.
I thought that was bad. God damn.
Jenna J is good, man. She's a hard worker, man. We got to give a shout out to Jenna J at On the Ropes Boxing. She's cool, man.
All right. Hey, I want to talk about the Bob Arum, man. He got to die, man. He really did. I agree.
Oh no.
He got to, man, because he messing up boxing, man. He got to die, man. He had to. And Khan up to his coke's ways again. Hello?
Fucking Khan, man. Khan is begging for that fight, Wood.
I told y'all niggas he on only coke. I told y'all niggas he on cocaine. I told you.
Oh my God, he's on something, man. He's on something, man, because he's fucking tripping out hard, man, over this fight, man. You know, he may be on suicide watch if you don't get this fight, man.
Where do you guys think Khan would actually go? In like serious, don't talk shit about Khan, but like more in the sense of where he actually would go after if this falls through.
Actually, James,
that's the thing, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on, really quick. Before we switch the subject, since we're on the topic of Bob Arum, we might as well switch to his claims as to why the fight that Mayweather-Pacquiao cannot be made. I mean, he says that financial terms are not the reason for that. he went on this crazy rant on ESPN how, Pacquiao is a bad style for him, and that's why Mayweather doesn't want the fight because he's southpaw and all this stuff. Well, I got the direct quotes, but if you watch ESPN, let me know. I'm going to read the quotes out for those that may not watch ESPN Friday Night Fights. So he says he doesn't want to fight a southpaw. Why? Because his entire defensive style is geared for a right-handed fighter. To compound that, if the southpaw is really fast and moves, that would give Mayweather and his style a lot of trouble. It would really jeopardize Mayweather's undefeated record. That's why this fight is not happening. End quote, Bob Arum. Do you think this is some bullshit?
Of course it is.
Honestly,
we talked about this a little bit earlier when you fell off. But, dude, it's like it was, maybe you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I honestly believe that maybe there is something to that because you look at Victor Ortiz and you look at Robert Guerrero, they're not that type of southpaw that Bob Arum was describing. Now, I don't even think maybe Manny Pacquiao is that type of southpaw that Bob Arum is describing, but, there has been times where Floyd has been gone on long stretches without fighting southpaws, and it's just coincidence now that he's fought a couple of southpaws because it's basically, I think he fought those southpaws because of their styles. But if you look at the back in the day when he fought Judah, Judah did give him some problems. But, at the end of the day, Floyd always solves the problem anyway, so I don't know. I don't think Manny Pacquiao is that southpaw either. I just don't think he has that slickness to him that will probably give Floyd problems. But I don't know, man. Like, I could sit there and say things, and it's up to Floyd, man. There's something in the back of this guy's mind. I mean, right now he could make this fight in a heartbeat and get everything he wants. He's in the driver's seat, man. He has such leverage over Pacquiao right now. So now would be the perfect time to make that fight. I still don't understand why that fight's not being made.
Well, let's go back to Wood since it was him who brought up the Bob Arum topic. Wood, what's your thoughts on those quotes? Did you catch that ESPN interview this Friday night?
Man, he don't want that fight because Floyd offered a fight to him. He put up. He said he's gonna wire him the money, and he said, he the one that his manager said he was going. His manager said he would take it, but Bob Arum the one that told Pacquiao to reject the shit. He ain't want it. And Floyd know the nigga cheating because Floyd said the nigga head got big as shit. He said his head got big. Nobody head get bigger. That's a sign that you're taking some drugs anyway. Your head get big. Your head you can't exercise your head.
Hold on one moment, Wood. Yo, who's breathing like that on the microphones? One of y'all fell asleep?
Nah, I'm muted. I was muted too, man.
What are the niggas high? What are the niggas high, man?
What's up? Go ahead, finish up, Wood. I got
you have hearing, man, because you hear shit that no one else hears, bro.
Yeah, I hear that snoring like damn stuff, man.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I think it. Bob Arum.
Man, I heard that, man. But anyway, let's move on, man. The Marco Huck bout is set in May. Marco Huck of Germany will attempt to tie the record for the most successful cruiserweight title defenses when he returns to the ring on May 3rd at the MHP Arena in Ludwigsburg, Germany. Vic, I know this is your guy and Ryan Bivens' guy. What's your thoughts, Marco Huck, coming back in May?
I mean, it's good to see him get revenge against, his last fight against Arslan. I really want to see Marco Huck move up to heavyweight. If he's not going to fight Guillermo Jones, I really want to see him move up to heavyweight. I think he gave Povetkin a hell of a fucking fight. I think he won that fight. I don't think he'll beat a Klitschko, but I mean, imagine him fighting guys like, Jennings, Wilder, anyone not named Klitschko and Marco Huck will be a good fight at heavyweight.
Yeah, man. But James, I'm not really a cruiserweight guy, man. I don't really give two shits.
Yeah, the only fights I saw were the Arslan fights, and then what's that guy's name? The Awful By or some shit like that, whatever it was. Those are the only fights that I saw, but I don't really pay attention to him too much to honestly have an opinion. But I like him. Every time I saw him, I think they were good fights. I didn't see the Povetkin fight though. I'll probably go watch that or look back and watch that now.
Yeah, I thought he beat Povetkin, and yeah, I mean Marco Huck definitely can fight a bit, man. He's a good fighter. He's a solid fighter, you know.
All right, so before we move on to some really exciting news, let's take it to the streets one more time and get one more caller. You can call in yourself if you want to, 646-478-3068. Be sure to press 1 if you want to talk to me, the co-host, or Joe Habib, the Lebanese Prince, Jameson rocking in the background, or Victor Salazar. I'm going to go to 713. You're live on the radio. This is where you calling from.
Whoa.
713. Last chance. You're out of here. 956. You're live on the Box of Voice. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Yo! This is, it's Ramiro. What's going on?
Ramiro? This ain't Blogger Boxing, is it?
It is, man. What's going on? Hey, you ready to pay me those $100 in June?
Man, dude, those are going to be the sweetest $100 I ever spent. Yo, guys, really quick to update you. This is Ramiro, the famous guy. He got famous on Twitter just for being himself. And he goes by @BloggerBoxing, so definitely follow him if you want to be entertained, especially via boxing. He's a jokester.
He's catching a lot of heat on Twitter. I was feeling bad for him, man. He's being attacked this morning, I think. I think it was this morning you were, right? They were going at you this morning. It's
because I got kind of tipsy last night, so I was making fun of some people. But nah, man, I can't. It's crazy because I can't make one little comment because then people are like, oh, why you fighting, man? Why you fighting with people? I'm like, dude,
you were getting blasted, man. You were getting blasted today. I was like, what the fuck did this dude do, man?
Ramiro, I'm gonna have to go back to you. Because we got our guest, I believe, 818. You're live on the Box of Voice. Is this Ryan Moore?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey.
Oh, how you doing, man? I'm gonna go ahead and patch over James really quick so he can take it away, and you can bring us up to date on Manny Pacquiao, the movie. James, take it away.
Hey, what's up, Ryan? How are you, man?
Good, James. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, brother. Hey, I just kind of wanted to get started because a lot of people have been seeing, obviously, the posters around the social media about the new upcoming documentary. Kind of explain to us what kind of how you got started with the film, and most importantly, how it kind of turned to Manny Pacquiao as your focal point of the documentary.
Well, you know, I've always been a big Pacquiao fan. You know, during the De La Hoya Hatton days, I mean, I just loved seeing him, demolish these incredible fighters. But at the same time, there were so many unique things about him that I'd never seen with any other boxer before. I grew up watching Tyson and a lot of guys like that. So when I saw Manny, I'd see him kneel down in the ring and pray, and he was just a different kind of fighter. So, long story short, through a strange twist of events, I got to meet him through some friends and family who were helping him out with some charity work out here in Southern California. So we met. He invited me to the karaoke bar and billiard bar. So we met up, and we got to spend some time together, and I pitched him this idea. He loved it. It took a long time just to get it off the ground. It took years, actually. I mean, no one wanted to get behind it, strangely enough. And I basically had to go out there, find the money to make it happen, and here we are 4 years later. We started filming back in 2010, so I pretty much went all around the world with Manny, covering political life, his boxing life, in and out of the ring, and then spent a lot of time with his family. So he really gave me intimate access all these years to tell, to really give me the opportunity to tell his story.
So is that what the film's kind of about? It's kind of like a good mixture of him, Manny Pacquiao as a fighter and Manny Pacquiao as a person, or is it more focused on him and his personal life?
Its focus is, I mean, you know, the context of, because people ask me all the time, you know, they say, how is this different from 24/7? You know, because we've all seen 24/7, you know, before every single fight he's done. Well, you know, the context of those shows is normally, you know, a build-up to a specific fight, right? So the context of it is quite limited. What's special about this film is this is the first time that Manny's really given me and a crew the inside scoop on everything about his life, not just his boxing life, but his personal life as well. You know, we filmed him, as I said, in Congress. So it covers his early beginnings, you know, the story of Manny before he became this decorated fighter that we all know him to be. But it also takes into account a lot of you know, the people that are around him, and they share a lot of their own stories about Manny. You know, his wife Jinky, of course, Freddie Roach, you know, Boo Boy, his assistant trainer. You know, everyone was very open with this film, and they participated in it because they knew that this would be the film that would really tell his story.
So I guess, obviously, I mean, we know as the boxing media that it's extremely difficult to get in touch with someone like Manny Pacquiao, and like you alluded to, that you now opened up a different side. You were able to reach into his actual personal life, where we only see him in the media typically, and then what we see obviously in 24/7. So with that kind of access, like we only see Manny Pacquiao the star. What surprised you the most in this entire film that when you saw it, it just kind of shocked you about Manny Pacquiao that you could say through all your years?
Well, there are things that I wouldn't want to give away just because I would want people to see them, you know, just to see it in the film. But I guess some things that we didn't touch on in the film, Manny, he is a extremely giving person. I think that people are kind of aware of that, but I think that people don't really understand the actual, you know, just the actual scale and scope of how giving he is. So, for instance, like one of the things that I thought was interesting was when I was in the southern Philippines filming him down there around the holidays, I noticed that people would line up outside his house and drop off their medical bills so that, you know, he would, because, you know, they didn't have a public hospital where he's from. So you know, because of the poverty out there in the Philippines, I mean, you know, a lot of people wouldn't be able to afford to pay for their own medical bills and surgery. So a lot of them would drop off their invoices, their medical invoices and their bills to Manny, and he would actually pay for them. You know, like he would even, you know, he would even pay for people's coffins. Like, you know, they were actually signed it, like, you know, like you would even see signs around that, you know, Manny would pay for people's funerals, stuff like that. I mean, just wild stuff, you know, and I mean, because he's a boxer and you guys probably know this, boxers are, in nature, very giving people, because it takes a very, you know, it takes a very special person, a very unique person to get in that ring and sacrifice everything in there. You know, because he's so giving, that's why you see this huge entourage around him, right? I mean, you see, like, literally almost 100 guys around him. It's because you know, he grew up with so little that these guys that he kind of carried along with him, you know, he just takes care of them. And I think that's a very unique quality of him, you know, especially, and I think that's very unique to the Filipino people. But you know, Jimmy Kimmel told me, he said, you know, I've never seen an entourage that big. I mean, the only entourage I've ever seen that big was the entire Lakers team when they came to the show. So that's how many people care. You know, that's how many people Manny Pacquiao brings around with him. Other than that, I mean, I'd say that he, as a family man, he has this way with his kids. I think that most people of course, he keeps it out of the public eye. He's very good with his family, but I'd say that in the ring, after you've seen him fight, you see that gentle side of him. He's concerned for his fighters, for the other opponents in the ring after he demolishes them. But that's Manny pretty much 99.999% of the time. He's a very, very sweet, humble guy. And as a family man, I've seen over the years, especially now, that kind of take over in the ring because I think as he's getting older, I think that being a politician, being a humanitarian and everything, I think that's affected his killer instinct. But those are all these are all different things you'll see in the film. There's so many. I mean, he's such a complex, multi-dimensional character. There's so many things that I think makes him unique as a fighter that no one's ever seen before. And I think because of all these things he does outside the boxing ring, having a family, he has a son on the way, in about 2 months, his wife is going to be giving birth to a baby boy, and then on top of that, he's a full-time politician, and he really cares about his people. Like with the typhoon that just happened, he went out there and actually was on the ground there helping out, carrying and delivering rice, and going out there, sleeping in a tent. He made several trips out there. I think that has definitely impacted his boxing career and that killer instinct. So I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with this upcoming fight of his, because that warmth that he has inside of him, that's a difficult thing to turn off once you're inside the ring. But I think in the film you'll kind of understand his character more and why he is the way he is once you see it.
Man, that was awesome. Well, thanks a lot, man. Hey, I'm going to pass you over to one of my co-hosts. His name is Shahabi Joe. You there, buddy?
Ryan, is there anything in this movie that people are going to take away from and say, wow, I never knew that about Manny Pacquiao. I'm surprised to have found that out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there are several things that people will find interesting, and I think there were some things that he told me he wanted to keep secret until his book came out. Little stories here and there, and after his career, he told me that after his career ended, he wanted this book to come out, and those stories would be sort of exclusive to that book. But I was with him for so many years, so I guess after being around with me for so long, he did become comfortable, and he did share with me those stories. So thankfully, we'll be able to, you'll be able to see them in the film. I think that what people will be kind of surprised by is the honesty of the film, the way that we allow people to kind of get a full inside look at him, not just as a boxer, as a politician that everyone knows him for, but just as Manny the man. I think that that's something that people will be surprised by, and that's kind of the reason why we decided to go with just a very simple title, Manny, because by the end of this film, we hope that people will feel like they know him well enough that they're on a first name basis with him. And it's not Congressman Pacquiao, it's not, the national fist of the Philippines, it's not, the only fighter to ever get, to ever win 8 world titles in 8 weight divisions. It's just simply Manny. And so, that's what our hope is that people will feel like they'll really get a sense of him.
Now, there's been other documentaries about Manny. How is this one going to be different than those ones?
So the funny thing is, a lot of these shows that have been positioned as 24/7 or all access or what have you, while we were filming Manny, those guys would a lot of the time ask us, or they would chase us around to try to find out what was going on in his life, or where he would be next. chasing Manny around the world is a very difficult logistical nightmare. Manny, he's the type of guy who has a million things going on at once, and unless you're there to capture it, you've missed it. And a lot of these shows on HBO or Showtime that have covered Manny, when I was filming for so many years, you see guys running around trying to figure out where he was next, whereas we were there. Manny would invite us into his bedroom, or we'd know everything that was going on, because we were the authorized crew, to be with him. But so that being said, the intimate access we have is there because Manny truly felt like this film would mean more for him than any other show, and so he treated it that way. And I think I think people will really get a sense that this is something that he poured himself into, because in other shows, that really isn't the case. A lot of the times when we'd be filming inside, say his bedroom, or we'd be in the gym with him, when he's discussing other things like politics or what have you, we'd be there with him, whereas the other crews were left outside, whether they were from HBO or Showtime or what have you. So we were always treated very differently by Manny, and he wanted to keep it that way because this film, he knew that this film had much more depth than anything else that had been done about him.
Now, how many hours a day did you actually spend with Manny in preparation for this movie?
We literally didn't prepare all that much. It was a handshake between he and I at his house in L.A., and then the next day we were off and running back in 2010. So, it took a long time to get him even to trust us at first, for him to feel comfortable. But, we filmed on and off for, up until last year. So, we're talking about 1,200 hours of footage that we filmed. I'd say about, over 200 days of shooting with Manny.
Wow.
So if you think about it, I'd be there with him for 2 months straight, and then we'd look at the footage, or we'd take a break for a little bit, and then I'd start up again months later, and then something would happen, he'd call me, then I would go back and stay for a week here, 2 weeks there, covering something special. But it was literally, we literally shot 1,200 hours of footage, and we had to whittle that down to less than 2 hours. So it's, that was the hardest thing for me, is having to, with my editor, Lenny, he's an incredible editor. He just did the Tribe Called Quest documentary. And, it was hard for us because there were so many things that we had to leave out of the film, because they were just so special. There's such special moments, and they were so insightful. But, we're, on top of us filming for this long, we're the only team that Manny gave his personal home collection to, his personal archive. And that's years upon years of stuff, photos, home videos, and this is stuff dating back, a decade, even more. Even into his teens, he gave us stuff. So, so the depth and scope of this film is larger than anything that's ever been done on Manny. He literally gave me a box. He goes, here, Ryan, here's a box of footage, and it was literally hundreds of tapes, little tapes, and he said, these are the masters, so don't lose them. And of course, I was sweating bullets because I was, oh crap, he gave me these tapes to digitize. So, he gave me literally hundreds of tapes, and neither of us knew what was on them. So it was like, that was a treasure chest in itself, man. Just getting, all these tapes from Manny. So that gives you an idea of how much Manny himself invested in this.
All right, I want to ask you one last question before I pass you over to Ness. You mentioned that Manny has a book coming out. When is that book actually going to be out, and different is that going to be from the movie? Because you said there's going to be some stuff in the book that isn't going to be in the movie. Is there going to be a lot of stuff in the book that's not going to be in the movie?
That book won't be coming out until he retires, and years after he retires.
Okay.
So that book is a book that he told me about, but that book won't come out probably for another 5 years or so. I imagine because he has no plans for retirement, and he wants it to be an all-inclusive thing. So I'm sure that we're looking at another maybe 4 to 5 years until we see that book at the earliest. So.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ness.
Well, all right, Ryan. Definitely at this time, give everybody the link so they can go over to your Facebook fan page for this Manny movie, and also the release date. What countries is it going to be released in? And any social media that you may have to promote this or for yourself, so we can get you out of here. We don't want to hold you all night.
Yeah, for sure. So check us out. Our Facebook is Manny Pacquiao Movie on Facebook. We're on Instagram at Manny the Movie, and also Twitter, Manny the Movie. We're happy to announce that just after a week, we're almost at 1 million views on YouTube. So we're real excited about that, and I just want to say thank you to the rest of my team, narrator Liam Neeson and Mark Wahlberg, Jimmy Kimmel, everyone who helped out, to make this film a special film. One other thing I forgot to mention is we have a soundtrack coming out as well, which was produced by Chad Hugo of the Neptunes, NERD, and we have music by Mark Foster the People, Far East Movement, Empire of the Sun, some incredible groups that did some original music for the film. And we even have, coming out soon, a Rocky type song, which even has Randy Jackson playing bass on it, which is like a throwback song to Rocky. So that's going to be Manny's theme coming up before his next fight.
Wow, man, I'm excited to hear all those big names you got on that soundtrack, man. This looks like it's going to be big, and this is great. This is something great for boxing because it's going to push it into the mainstream, and what a better guy to do it than Manny Pacquiao. He's been the face of boxing for quite some time. I'm sure you got some great behind-the-scenes footage, and we can't wait for the release. You've been great, man. Thanks for coming on, and we hope to get you back on. But while we have you, just reassure all our listeners and the public that will be listening to this on podcast that this is an authentic Manny Pacquiao poster that you are giving up for this contest.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So leading up to our world premiere at South by Southwest Film Festival, we are giving away exclusively with the Boxing Voice a signed Manny Pacquiao poster. We just did a limited run, so Manny didn't sign many of these. And please do, sign up for the contest. And we're excited to see who wins it. So please do support the film. And thanks again for your support, the Boxing Voice, and I appreciate it.
Hey, Ryan, and we'll get you on as soon as, you get the big world premiere. We'll definitely get you back on just so you can let us know how was the ambiance that night, how many big stars came out to support Manny Pacquiao and your movie, man, and we appreciate you for coming on and taking out the time to do this interview.
I appreciate it. Thanks again, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot, Ryan, man. Take it easy, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, man, that was definitely an exclusive. Shout out to Jameson Rocket, at Jameson Rocket on Twitter. Follow him, making a lot of noise for the Boxing Voice. He was giving it to Top Rank, head of gut on a conference call, and now he comes through with the big-time guest, the director of the Manny Pacquiao movie. James, congratulations to you. Pat on the back. Let's move things on to Amir Khan and his campaign to win the Mayweather sweepstakes. What do you guys make of these quotes and Amir Khan allegedly saying that he sparred with Andre Ward and Alfredo Angulo, and then Ward takes to Twitter and says, I don't know what Amir's talking about. We never sparred. What's the deal? B, Vic, James, talk to me.
I think that's crazy, though, because Andre Ward came out and said that there's no way that happened. So And then I think on someone, like, I forgot where I saw it. It was definitely on Twitter somewhere that they were like, he said he sparred Andre Ward's sparring partners. So to me, it just seems like a bunch of shit Amir Khan was fucking talking, and it didn't pan out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't know what's the deal with him. I mean, why would he lie? Did he think that Ward would lie for him? I just don't get it. But he went on to say, why would Mayweather even consider putting Maidana in the mix? Slow hands, slow feet. Only thing he brings to the table is power. I agree that he beat Broner. We've seen how Mayweather deals with power, i.e. Canelo, Alvarez. But let Broner rematch. Let Broner's rematch with Amir Khan be on the undercard of Mayweather Khan. If that were to happen, would you accept the pay-per-view a lot more if they gave Mayweather Amir Khan and we got on the undercard Maidana versus Broner rematch to build into the Maidana Mayweather fight? Would you guys accept it that way?
Well, I think you're going to need a strong undercard to sell this fight. I had mentioned before that, you know, Abner Mares will probably be on there. Rumor I heard might be Gary Russell. Not sure how concrete is that. But yeah, give me Broner Maidana too on that. I mean, will Broner want it? Will Maidana want it? I mean, you know Maidana's going to want 7 figures for this fight.
Well, I'll tell you this. I wasn't a big fan of Amir Khan versus Mayweather, but if they give me Maidana, Broner on the undercard, I'll buy that because I know they're going to put another 2 undercards on there. I don't know what they could be, but it'll be at least another 2 fights on there, and that'll be good. And I'm a fan of Broner. I still am, and I still want to see that rematch, so I'll definitely buy this pay-per-view a lot faster if that was on the undercard. Beeb, what's your thoughts, brother? Where you at, man? Talk to me. Lebanese Prince, what's going on? Do I need to break out your soundbite or something?
I think V fell off his rocker again.
And I think he did.
I'd be okay with Amir Khan versus Mayweather and then having Broner Maidana on the undercard. I mean, if you're going to get Amir Khan and Mayweather anyway, might as well get Broner Maidana on the undercard. You know what I mean? It takes, I guess, one Showtime event, I guess, away. But at the same time, I mean, it gives us our Matisse Garcia undercard. Not in the same sense that it's obviously a competitive matchup where you want to see one get tested, but you kind of want to see Broner if he can avenge it. If not, he can get knocked the fuck out before Khan gets knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, man, definitely. Well, there's some other exciting news that I can't wait to talk about. I'm pretty sure Vic is happy to know that Thomas Delorme, a Puerto Rican fighter, actually Dominican, born in the St. Martin, but definitely claims Puerto Rico and was the next big thing until he got knocked out by Luis Carlos Abregu, is going to be training with Robert Garcia. Delorme, who last fought November 30th, said promoter Gary Shaw told him he would probably fight in April. Vic, are you excited that Thomas Delorme is going to be over there in the Robert Garcia gym?
I mean, it can only help him, but, I mean, this flaw is there. I don't know how Robert's going to pick that up or fix him. I mean, he's done well with Maidana, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now, and, you know, Puerto Rican boxing is at its lowest point, even though he is technically from, you know, the Virgin Islands, Dominican parents. So, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm not excited about Puerto Rican boxing right now until, you know, something concrete comes along.
James, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he got stopped by Abregu until, I think Beeb said last week Abregu is our top 10 on our website, and honestly, I probably agree with that. So, I mean, even if you get Robert Garcia, I mean, he's just another fighter in the mix, I guess. I don't think Robert Garcia can do anything with him. Plus, he's also a boxer, and he's basically essentially going with not necessarily a brawler kind of trainer, but a trainer that definitely fights for aggressiveness or pushes aggressiveness. And Delorme, to me, is not a fighter that can push aggressiveness. So, I mean, I just think this is going to be another fighter that gets caught in the mix. But the only reason why we're hearing about it is because it's Robert Garcia. If he switches some unknown trainer, we wouldn't be hearing about it, I don't think.
I don't know, man. I'm excited because I was high on Thomas Delorme. I mean, he did well versus Top Corley, so that was a barometer. I expected him to beat Abregu. I thought Abregu was a very, one-dimensional fighter, and he got knocked out in that fight. So I'm happy to see him get hooked up with a better trainer. He's going to definitely have some great sparring in there. I'm going to take it back out to the streets really quick. We're going to get at Blogger Boxing back on. Ramiro, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what's going on? I tried to catch some of that interview with that director guy. You guys should have asked him if this was going to show when Manny Pacquiao was banging other broads and, like, drinking and shit. That would have been pretty awesome. But anyways, what was I going to say? Yeah, man, I don't know about the Mayweather Khan. That dude has a chin of a 3-year-old. I mean, he'll get knocked out. I mean, if Floyd can't knock out Khan, I mean, that's pretty lame. Like, how the hell can he not knock out Khan? Like, he's chinny. I mean, look what Prescott did to his ass, and then look, even though I hate Garcia, look what Garcia did to his ass. So I don't know about that. What else were you guys talking about?
Lara Golovkin. I know you were.
Oh,
very,
Lara, dude,
adamant.
that guy speaks Spanish, Russian, English on Twitter, but he can't do anything, man. Like, who wants to see him box? I don't want to see him box. Like, he's boring. I think Golovkin kills him. That fight can't even happen because of the stupid Cold War. I don't even know why people bring up shit like that. Like, Manny Floyd, that shit gets annoying. Like, seriously, like, there was this one girl who was trying to catfish everyone on Twitter, like, putting all these pictures of her ass and shit, and she kept putting all these fake articles that, like, oh, yeah, the fight's happening. Some businessman in Singapore said he's going to put in $120 million. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. That's never going to happen. Well, I mean, but yeah, I mean, what else are you guys talking about? Oh, Cotto Martinez. Cotto's gonna kick his ass, and then he's gonna pass Tito for the belts. But I still think Tito will go down as the best. And yeah, man, boxing, like, it's in the dumps right now. It's in the same dumps as I feel like UK boxing.
Just have my money. Just have my money for making that
stupid ass bet. You guys made a bet.
Yeah. This crazy man went and picked fucking Cotto versus Martinez, and he's going to give me a cool $100 real easy.
Man, we're just making bets all over the boxing boys the past week.
I don't know. Defend yourself.
No, watch. I mean, the only reason I'm picking him is because Martinez is coming back from what? Knee surgery. I feel like Martin Murray kicked his ass, but it was kind of weird because in the 11th and the 12th round, if you go back to watch that fight, his corner's not even telling him, like, to attack him. He's just like, oh, well, box. Like, well, what the fuck are you talking about? You're in Argentina. You're not going to win a decision. Fucking put him out. And I don't know, it was weird. It was like a weird 2 last rounds. I feel like he didn't want it. So I feel like Cotto should kick his ass. But, I mean, it was just Delvin Rodriguez or Edwin. There's too many fucking people with the same last name. I forget who's who. But, yeah, man, I don't know. I hope Cotto gets it because I hate seeing his family cry on HBO. That's happened too many times. So we'll see, man. We'll see about that.
Nah, man,
coming up?
Yo, Cotto's going to get outboxed by Martinez, man. I can tell you that right now. There's no way that doesn't happen. I love Cotto, but he's going to get outboxed easily by Martinez, I think.
I mean, how old's Martinez now? I mean, he's pushing 40. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess that's why they fight, and then that's why there's idiots like us who just talk about it all day. But at the end of the day, they have to fight, and I feel like the whole MSG crowd is gonna pick him up, and I think he takes it. But we'll see. Hey, is anyone coming out to San Antonio in March, or are you guys being gay?
Nah, man, ain't nothing happening in San Antonio worth coming out there. Get out of here. Nobody wants to see Canelo Angulo. Like, now, I wish I was coming out there. I think, Vic, you're going, right?
What, to Canelo Angulo? I'm not sure yet. Well, that's not even in San Antonio. It's in Vegas. I think he's talking about Chavez Vera and Lomachenko Salido.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's covering that for us? We probably have a guy in Texas for that, dude. I don't know.
Let's take it back out to the streets. We got some more Carlos here, James. Let me go to what I see here. 201. You're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jersey Seb. Hello?
Talk to us, baby.
Jersey Seb, what's up, brother?
I just want to mention a possible matchup that I think has to happen. Well, not has to happen, but if these two fighters plan on fighting, they have to fight each other, and that's Zab Judah and Victor Ortiz. You know, they're both very inconsistent. They're both bums. They're both shot. They mentally are very unstable, and I think both of them, the loser of that has to get out of the picture and has to retire. You know what I mean? And the winner might, get like another chance or whatever. But I think if those two want to continue fighting, they have to fight each other, or else they shouldn't be allowed to fight anyone else because they're just a waste of time. And my other thing with Golovkin and Lara, I think, I'd rather see Golovkin fight a top middleweight, but I wouldn't mind that Lara fight. But just like the caller before me said, fuck it, because it's not going to happen because of the Cold War, so I shouldn't even be talking about it. And the last thing is, you guys are absolutely right. Martinez is going to beat the shit out of Cotto. It's going to be easy breezy. How did Austin Trout beat him, but Martinez isn't? Come on, man. Give me a break. Austin Trout is a southpaw, and he's tall. Well, guess what? Martinez is a southpaw, and he's even more athletic, and he's bigger. So let's just put 2 and 2 together,
Well said, my friend. Well said.
I think it was a fair point.
I guess narrow boxing doesn't see it that way.
Those are fair points, but you never know, man. You get old quick in this game.
This is, you're right, you never know, but this is an easy one to pick. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Martinez is very, even if he's like 60% of the fighter that he was, he'll still have an easy time with Cotto. But this is good because Cotto will lose, and then he'll go back down to 54, and then he'll have that Canelo fight. And so we'll definitely get to see that.
Yeah, definitely, man. But, Seb, I'm going to get it, put you on hold, take some more callers here. We got 209. You're live on the box with 209. Who's this? Where you calling from?
What up? This is Zach.
Who's this? 209,
you
you there? 209, you there? He fell off, yeah. Let's go to 213. You're live on the box voice 213. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Yo, what up, Ness? It's me, Black Ski Mask Joe.
Black Ski Mask Joe. What's going on, player?
Nothing much, baby. How you guys doing, man? What's up, B? What up, Vic? What up, what is this new cat? James, what up, man?
What up?
What up? How you guys doing, man?
Chillin', man.
Good,
man.
Good, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Keep it moving. Talk to us.
All right, man. I want to congratulate you guys, man. You guys always keeping boxing relevant, man. You guys keeping up with the YouTube and everything. You guys are doing a good job, man. But let's get on the subject, man. I heard you guys were talking about Bob Arum and whatnot, and we're touching on the subject right now about Lara, Cuban fighters. Man, I know a lot of people always hate when I bring this shit up, man. But what up with my boy Rigondeaux, man? What's going on, man? Any news?
I haven't heard anything, man. I haven't heard anything.
Damn, man. My boy Bob Arum is just shutting him the fuck down.
I haven't heard
anything,
man.
He's constantly posting shit on his Instagram and shit, man, talking shit about all the other fighters, like he wants to fight everyone, so I want to see him again.
Yeah,
I
man.
like that dude.
I know, man, and that's the crazy thing about it, man. Like, I really want to see him. I don't know why a lot of people keep shitting on him, man. I mean, like, it's not his fault that he's too fucking good, man. That even like Joseph Ubeko didn't know what the fuck to do, you know? So it's like, how you gonna say that this guy's style is boring if you look at all his fights from fight 1 to currently now? Like, the dude's been always exciting, knockout power, body shots and shit like that. I don't know why people think this dude is boring.
Yeah, man,
That's
all the
you
Cuban
think.
fighters right now, it's Lara, it's Abril. No one wants to fight these motherfuckers because they're all difficult boxers. They're all real good, high athletes. And it's just Rigondeaux, I guess, is the biggest name right now that we all like to talk about. But, I mean, everyone in Cuban boxers. It's unfortunate because they're all great, and I want to see them. I like Rigondeaux. I think it's wrong what they're doing.
Absolutely, man. I need to see more Rigondeaux and Laura myself. Let's keep it moving. Let's take it to the 253. Black Ski Mask Joe, thanks for calling in, brother. 253, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Are we right now?
253, you're live. What's up, brother?
Oh, what's up? I was just calling in to say I'd like to see Triple G fight Kirkland just because I think Kirkland's a beast, and I think he might give Triple G all he can handle. He might test that chin finally.
Well, Kirkland already turned the fight down. They don't think they're ready just yet. After the Glenn Tapia fight, they feel they need to take it back to the gym. So you won't be seeing that just yet. He priced himself out purposely.
Oh, that's crazy. That's disappointing. I think Ann Wolf's doing a good job now that he's back with her.
Well, she's in control. You know, from what I hear, it was her decision. But 253, you definitely got some ill background noise, so I'm going to keep it moving. I see MB Chu here on 2 different Skype accounts, so I'm going to go back to MB Chu, long-time caller, give him back some airtime. MB Chu, you're live. What's going on, brother?
Man, someone else has got... Yo, dude, someone else has stole my name, man. I can't be possible, but... Man, I want to talk about Verdejo. Felix Verdejo. What do you think about him, Nez?
I mean, he's doing what he's got to do. You know, the first 15 are basically gimmies. He's knocking people out. He's definitely showing a lot of combinations and speed, good movement, nice defense. But this is Vic's guy, not mine. Vic, what do you think?
I mean, obviously, the components of being a star are there. I mean, obviously, he can punch, he can move, he's pretty fast. You know, but it all, to my knowledge, to me, when it comes to Puerto Rican fighters, I gotta see them hit first, man. I need to see what their chin's about.
Do you think he'll take a knee?
I don't know. I mean, well, I know Danny Garcia isn't, you know, from Puerto Rico, but you know, he's proved his mettle. I mean, he's taking shots from, you know, Matisse, he's taking shots from Khan, and you know, he's proven his chin. It's always going to be that chin issue when it comes to Rican fighters, to me at least. But I mean, he has the components to be a star. He's always laughing, he's always smiling, and like Cotto, he actually, you know, likes to mediate, he likes to talk to his fans. So, you know, I compare him more to Tito than Cotto just because he's more outgoing. So we'll see, man. It's there. He's with the right promoter, knows how to bring up prospects. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. Errol Spence, Felix Verdejo. In 2 years' time, we'll be talking about that fight, I think.
They're pretty big different in weight classes, though. I think Errol Spence is a junior middleweight.
Nah, man. He's a welterweight now.
He's a welterweight. I think Verdejo's in the 30s right now. I think he's at lightweight.
Yeah, he's a lightweight. So I guess eventually in the future, but I mean, yeah, I guess it'll be a good fight. But also Lomachenko's right under him, so I guess Lomachenko will eventually come back up. He'd be in the World Series of Boxing, I think, or not, or the Olympics or something like that. So it'd be cool to see that fight too.
Absolutely. I want to go to MV2's Stalker, another MV2. You're live. Other MV2, who are you? You're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? All right. MV2, your stalker doesn't want to talk. So, yes, we most definitely going to have to talk about George Zimmerman and DMX getting in the ring. Vic, we don't hear any dogs, man, at all, man, so you're good as long as you keep doing whatever you're doing. I guess you're muting to yourself. But yeah, George Zimmerman and DMX are getting in the ring, and they're gonna fight. And this is fucking weird. What's your thoughts? I know that in the hip hop community and in the urban community, people are not happy. Especially you, of course, the black community is not happy that George Zimmerman is doing anything that is going to give him proceeds. They feel that he was wrongfully acquitted of, you know, the whole Trayvon Martin thing. So, and DMX is old and like.
That's actually. I think that was actually called off, man. I think that was called off.
I don't know. I know they were going to do a petition and everything, so I didn't know that. I didn't read anything concrete that it was already off. But what did you make of it when you first heard the news?
Oh man, the first time I actually heard it, the rumor I saw was going to be the game, which I thought, oh man, I would love to see that because I know, like, obviously if you listen to the game, he talks about if he didn't want to be a rapper, he'd rather be a boxer. But so when I heard that, I was like, oh shit, dude, the game is going to beat the fucking shit out of George Zimmerman. That's going to be great to see. But I mean, DMX, though, I mean, I hate to say that, but as someone that I guess likes to watch a lot of boxing, I mean, that could be a good 50-50 fight. DMX is from Arizona, and I promise you I hear rumors all day long about dumb idiots that hung out with DMX somewhere, and that dude is just, like, that dude's on drugs, to be honest with you. So if he wants to fight George Zimmerman, I'm going to give him a 50-50 fight, and that's sad to say because I hate George Zimmerman, and I hope he gets his ass beat, but that's just me giving you, I guess, what I hear around the valley here with DMX living actually in Phoenix. So
Vic just texted me and said that it is officially off, but DMX definitely had an advantage because George Zimmerman is a short, pudgy, little fat dude, and if DMX didn't beat him on crack or not, if DMX couldn't beat Zimmerman, fat or not, he would have to get out of here. I'm going to go to 201 here. 201, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this? What's up? You want to talk about? 201, you're live. All right, no 201. So, yeah, man, moving right along. Let's talk about this Gamboa versus Garcia. Officially on for May 17th. Is that true, Victor Salazar? Vic?
I guess he's fell off.
I guess so. What do you know about this Gamboa Garcia? Is this official yet?
I haven't heard anything about it being official. Last I heard that it was at 50 cents that it was official, but I heard that wasn't true at all. I actually talked to someone that would know about that at least a little bit, but I don't think it's official yet. I haven't seen anything about it. Where did you read that?
According to 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah, so no, fuck that. Yeah, no, last I heard that was not true. So I talked to someone that would talk to, Cameron Duncan, but, I mean, no, last I heard that was just him trying to put pressure in the situation.
Well, WBC finally have stripped Adrian Broner of his 135-pound WBC title. What's your thoughts on the WBC finally moving forward and taking his belt after he hadn't defended it in, I think, over a year?
Well, who's going to be the official title holder? It's going to be Omar Figueroa, right?
I think that Omar Figueroa is going to be elevated to champion. If not, he will probably be fighting his next fight versus Ricardo Alvarez on the undercard of Canelo for the title.
Yeah, I mean, so Omar Figueroa is a good fighter in that division. So, I mean, I think the other lightweight, obviously on the other side, is Terrence Crawford, but he's on HBO's side right now, so that fight's not going to happen. So, so Omar Figueroa is a good fighter. I don't know. He's unproven, obviously, just kind of how like Brandon Rios was when he was in that kind of division or lightweight division. But I mean, there's really no one down there for him if Adrian Broner's not going to come down. So he's going to fight Richard Abril, or he's just going to have to keep fighting these kind of. I guess Ricardo Alvarez is a no name only because he's Canelo Alvarez's brother. So I mean, it's not going to be a tough fight. I think Omar Figueroa is obviously going to get him out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah, he is, because I was at Texas when Ricardo lost to the guy from Pittsburgh. That in his corner was Paul Spadafora. That guy lost that fight. So I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to do anything with Omar Figueroa unless Figueroa's hands are still hurt. Then we have something else on our hands, definitely. But let's move on to upcoming fights, man. We have some good fights coming up, and it's going to be tomorrow, Monday night fights on Fox Sports 1 in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to have Fidel Maldonado Jr. I believe the last time I saw him was losing a very tight decision to Michael Perez, which was on Showbox. He's going to be taking on John Nader in a 10-round junior welterweight bout. Also a guy that you were just talking about, James, Earl Spence. He's going to be taking on Peter Oloch, 8-rounder as a welterweight. So the caller was right. He's at welterweight. And Julian Williams is going to be taking on Alex Bohemia. Last time we seen Bohemia, he was getting, battered around the ring by Sergio Martinez, making his debut on HBO very many years ago, I believe in 2009. And last but not least, on that undercard, we're going to have Terrell Gaesha. He's from Cleveland or Akron, I believe. He's also an Olympian. He's going to be taking on George Sosa. But the last time we seen Geisha, if I'm not, or Gasha, whatever, if I'm correct, he got dropped and kind of banged up by a white kid off the street, what looked like to me. James, do you recall that fight?
Terrell Gasha? No. They'll all these fights kind of blend the same to me because they kind of get them out of there pretty early, though.
I wish Matt, the producer, could call in because I'm sure he was watching it, and him and I were talking about the fight as I was covering it. And Geisha was looking a little, shaky on his legs. He took some big shots, big overhand rights, I believe they were. But, yeah, he's getting back in the ring. He's also trained by Safo. But that's on Monday night fights on Fox Sports in San Antonio. Then heading on over to ESPN on Friday on the 14th, ESPN2 in Huntington, New York. I should be live at this fight. It's going to be Chris Algieri taking on Emmanuel Taylor, a 10-round junior welterweight bout. Emmanuel Taylor, he's being put in as the B-side in this fight, James, but this guy, his last time out, looked very good. If I'm not mistaken, he also beat up Raymond Serrano. Emmanuel Taylor, I think he had like one or two losses, but he's definitely started giving it his all. I remember interviewing him last year. He was actually on the undercard, I believe, of Freddie Hernandez, Demetrius Andrade in this very same venue, or it was on a undercard of a Chris Algieri fight. Vic just texted me, Emmanuel Taylor beat Serrano and Victor Cayo. I remember him on ESPN bashing Victor Cayo around the ring. So Chris Algieri's in tough, and he's an undefeated fighter, and he's had a lot of hype behind him, and now he's going to be tested. What's your thoughts? Do you know anything on either of these two guys?
Yeah, Taylor's the one that he stopped Victor Cayo, didn't he?
Yeah, Emmanuel Taylor stopped Victor Cayo, but who doesn't stop Victor Cayo?
Yeah, but I mean, I like that fight. It's a good fight. I mean, they're both kind of, I guess, like, Victor Cayo or Emmanuel Taylor. I think he has lost. So, I mean, it's a good fight. If we're going to get it on ESPN Friday Night Fights, why not? It's a good fight. It's I think Chris Algieri is undefeated, but I mean, that's a good fight. I like it. I'll watch it. It's better than this last week's fight, so fuck it. Why not?
Yeah, man, it's definitely a good fight, and it's gonna definitely prove a lot of things about Chris Algieri, and it's gonna definitely let us know if Emmanuel Taylor, turns 2014 into another 2013, because last year he got those two big wins, moving him up in the rankings. Definitely beating Raymond Serrano, who was previously unbeaten prior to that one fight. He lost. Only person he lost to was Kareem Mayfield, and then Emmanuel Taylor came back and, beat him up. And then Emmanuel Taylor got the Victor Cayo win, who Victor Cayo, he's only lost to Lamar Peterson and to Marcos Maidana, and then Emmanuel Taylor took him out. So Emmanuel Taylor is definitely moving up the rankings. This is going to be an interesting fight. I hope that they approve me so that I can be there. I want to get some good interviews with these guys. Let me see if we got anybody in the phone lines here, but while I check that, we can move on to untelevised fight taking place in Argentina. It's going to be Juan Carlos Treseco versus Manuel Vidiaz. I don't even know who these guys are. WBA regular flyweight. Oh, my God, flyweight. Get in, mate. James, you want to touch on that, or I can take it to this caller?
Yeah, no, take it to the caller, man. There's not many flyweights on here, so go with it.
469, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Who's this?
Yeah, it's Josh from Dallas, Texas.
Josh,
hey, man,
what's going on? Texas in the building.
Yeah, man, I'm a long time a listener. I think this is my second call to y'all.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to make the switch from Mixler. I'm glad that you made the switch from Mixler to Blog Talk with us, man, and definitely showing us love and support by doing so. What do you want to talk about boxing?
Man. Well, let me just give my prediction on Sergio Martinez and Cotto. I think Martinez is gonna, beat Cotto pretty badly. Like, Cotto thinks he's getting them on the right time, but I don't know. I think with Martinez getting his old trainer back, I think that's gonna make the difference.
No, man, I agree. I think Cotto's gonna lose. I love Cotto. I mean, it's sad of me to say that. I don't want to pick him against someone in a fight, but I really agree with you. I think Sergio Martinez is gonna outbox him. That's the easiest way to say it. He's gonna outbox him. I don't know if he's gonna beat him down or like beat him up real bad, but I mean, I still think that he has enough of a jab to keep Cotto off him. I feel he's the bigger man. So I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Can I get my opinion on the Pacquiao and Bradley fight?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Yeah. The same goes with Pacquiao. He got his old, conditioning trainer back. His strength conditioning trainer back.
Who, Pacquiao?
Yeah, he's back with. Yeah, he's back with Fortuna. He's back with Fortuna.
Yeah, I mean, and was it Fortuna that took him to being De La Hoya and all those other guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always been the kind of guy that sees boxers having the advantage when they have.
Excuse me. Actually, disclaimer.
Fortune, right?
It's Fortune. It's Fortune.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Fortune.
not Fortuna.
Oh, okay, Fortune. Yeah, I always think, I mean, the boxer has the trainer he grew up with, not grew up with, but that took him to that championship level. I always think that's a good chemistry to have.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully that does something. Does something, but I don't think it's going to do anything. I think that Bradley's going to show his world classness in this fight. I think he's going to have two working legs, and I think it's going to be a completely different fight from the first fight.
You're right. Yeah, hopefully it's competitive. I like Bradley too. If he's not fighting Pacquiao, I would pick Bradley, but I've always been just a fan of Pacquiao.
He's a good fighter, man. I agree. It's a tough fight to pick against. I mean, I rarely pick against Pacquiao, but in this fight, unfortunately, I think I'm going to roll with Bradley, man. Are you there?
Yeah, I said let's go to some other callers here. I'm going to take Stewart. I'm looking for him now. 111, you're live on the Boxing Voice. Is this Stewart? 111, you're live. Is this Stewart? Oh, all right. Oh, I don't know. Stewart's saying on Twitter clearly that he's on, but I'm not seeing him. James, so yeah, man, what do you think? You think that Fortune being back in the corner is going to help Manny Pacquiao any bit?
No, not at all. I mean, Pacquiao's always come into the fight fit, so I mean, what else could he possibly do right now? So I understand by there's nothing he could do in the corner right there. If it's going to be a different strength and conditioning coach, it could be anyone. I don't really give a shit. I still think Brad is going to win the fight. I mean, I've said it a million times. I think that he's just going to be he's just going to outbox. I don't think he's going to outbox Manny Pacquiao. Essentially, he's not going to knock down Manny Pacquiao, but he's going to outbox him.
I agree with you. Let's take it back to the streets. 650, you're live on the Boxing Voice. 650, who's this?
Hey, this is Jeff.
Jeff, what's going on? Where you calling from, brother?
Hey, I'm calling from the Bay Area in California. Question.
Talk to us.
Hey, Ariola. Like his attitude, I loved his last fight. I think he's ready to win. I think he's going to beat Chris. What is his name? Stefani.
Romain Stavern.
Yeah, I think he's going to beat him this time, man. I really do.
Yo,
I really
you're
do.
Funny, man.
Come on, man.
No. Listen. This is the voice of the people, man. So you can definitely voice your opinion here, but I just don't know how you can say that with a straight face. You think he's really going to beat him when nothing in the first fight indicated that he's ready to handle anything that
look, dude,
brings.
No, I'll tell you what. Bullshit. He got his nose busted in the first round. He got his nose busted in the first round.
Didn't he get dropped as well? Didn't he get dropped as well?
No. He just got his nose broken.
He was down in the third. I think he got knocked down in the third or the fourth.
I'm telling
man,
you guys,
I think you need to go
he's going to beat him this time. I love Ariola. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to beat him. I think he's the best American heavyweight in the United States. I really do. Does anybody know where this fight is going to be broadcast? Where it's going to take place?
I heard it's been agreed upon, but I haven't heard anything about where it's going to actually be or what the date is. I thought it was like a Perth bid, I think.
A Thursday?
A Perth bid.
Oh.
I don't know. That's all. I think I don't know if I read. I think I read that anyway.
So you think I'm nuts? You think I'm crazy?
I interviewed Stavern in Washington D.C. The fight is definitely on. There's no date, and he's still with Don King. So, but the fight is definitely on. They're going to be fighting for the WBC Vitaly's belt. So that definitely is going to take place. I don't have a date myself, but I'm going to go ahead and move on. Move on to 713. You're live on the box. Whoa. In a Dominican restaurant getting his grub on, definitely. Saturday, February 15th, Unimas in Hawaiian Gardens, California. Diego Magdaleno going to be facing the always dangerous, sometimes undefeated, sometimes journeyman TBA. Are you excited to see Diego Magdaleno back in the ring, James?
I guess, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the weaker of the Magdaleno brothers, so I guess I'm excited to see another fight. But I want to see him. I guess if he can, come back and win. I don't know. I'm not really. I guess to be honest with you, I'm not excited about Diego Magdaleno.
Yeah, man. Well, he's going to be on the main event. Esquives Falco versus Joshua Roberts in a 6-round super middleweight fight. And Jesse Magdaleno, the very more exciting Magdaleno brother, versus Roberto Castellana in an 8-round junior featherweight fight. I can't wait till this kid gets up there, man, to see what he does versus, some Wamas and Ponces and I don't know, maybe Javier Fortunas, people like that. But Trevor McCumbee versus Chris Elpy is going to be a 6-round light heavyweight fight. I probably butchered the shit out of those names, but who gives a fuck? Let me see here. I don't see any new callers. I see 713. Let me go back to the Dominican restaurant real quick. You're live, man. Yeah, he's still dancing salsa with his girl. All right, on Integrated Sports pay-per-view in London, England, Derek Chisora versus Kevin Johnson, a 12-round heavyweight bout. James, your thoughts? I'm not really caring about Derek Chisora versus Kevin Johnson, but I guess it's a test because Kevin Johnson is tall, and I guess he can see what he can do differently in the Fury rematch.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too excited about that either. I mean, because it's basically just a precursor to the Fury Chisora rematch. So, I mean, I think we talked about that on the last show, but I mean, I'm not that excited about that rematch. I mean, Fury already beat him once. I mean, it was an out-of-shape Chisora, but at the same time, it's like Chisora's already been knocked out by Hay. He's going to fight, Kevin Johnson? When was the last time Kevin Johnson was even credible? So, I mean, it's all tune-up fights for both of them. And then it's just going to be a build-up to just see them anyway. I'd rather see them right now and get it over with so I can finally see one of them just kind of go on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. On the undercard is going to be Tyson Fury. I feel exactly like you. Tyson Fury is going to be taking on Joey Abel. I'm just mentioning it because it's mentionable. But we're going to move on to what I'm excited about on the untelevised portion of some card that we're not going to get to watch because it's not televised. In Saldilla, Argentina, Diego Chavez, who we once saw on Showtime losing to Keith Thurman. One-time Keith Thurman is going to be taking on Juan Alberto Godoy. Not Good Boy, not to be confused with Good Boy with Angel Garcia, but Godoy in a 10-round welterweight fight. So I guess we'll have to read up on that one from Argentine News and let you know what happened in that fight. That is the schedule for this week. This has been the Boxing Voice. I am your host, at NetsGTO on Twitter, joined alongside my boy James, at Jameson Rocket on Twitter. Catch us next Thursday at 7 p.m., and we're going to have some more guests and hopefully no switchboard problems, and we can bring back our sound bites. But it is what it is. It wasn't Blog Talk. Again, it was the Internet. James, any last words before we get out of here?
Nah, brother. Thank you. Have a good day, man.
All right, brother. Later.
Late.